What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? What's up? Cleveland, can you hear me?
I got you, Cam. Can you hear me?
What's good? What's good, fans? I cannot hear Cleveland. I don't know what is going on. He's trying to sabotage the show, fans. He's trying to sabotage the show because he doesn't want to talk about that ranking system that he got that you guys can see on Voice of the Fans show. He don't want to talk about that, so he's acting like his mic is not broke. So he got a couple minutes to get it together over there, fans. Because when we get the show started each and every week, welcome to Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 291 of the Voice of the Fans podcast, and we gotta get the show started, Cleveland. So I'm gonna give him a couple. He got a couple minutes to get things going, but I'm gonna get the show started like this here.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a golfer fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a golfer fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best team to fight with. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. Promoter pays the fighter.
Looks like he's not the only one having technical difficulties. I don't know why the video not playing. Cleveland, you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear the show, Cleveland? I can't hear
Yes.
you, man. I don't know what's going on in here. So I'm gonna try this one more time. Um, this sucks. Because I can't hear you, bro. I cannot hear you. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm gonna try this one more time, fam. Excuse the technical difficulties. I have no idea what happened. I was just talking to my man pre-show, and all of a sudden his son cut off. What up, though, MJ? What up, though? I didn't know. You still alive, huh? Ever since you guaranteed the Mariners going to the playoffs, I ain't heard from you. Come back if you get a chance, so we can talk about this bogus ranking that Cleveland came up with, and also we get into this NBA conversation. I need somebody who can. Your guy's not in it, so you can give me an unbiased opinion. So somebody can give us an unbiased opinion in the MVP ranking in the NBA. Come on back with us. Come join us. Of course, Cleveland does too. He don't know it yet. Cleveland does too. I mean, I'm getting fat over here from you guys. But Cleveland, you can't hear me, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm gonna do this just for you, Cleveland. I'm gonna log off the show and log back in. And hopefully you can get your stuff together over there, man. But the show must go on. So I'm about to log off and log back on. The voices. He don't even have a voice right now. He don't even have a voice right now. He's muted himself because he doesn't want to be part of the conversation that we have to have. There's a conversation that we have to have. He don't want to be part of the conversation. He just want to show his face over there. I don't know what's going on between you, the voice of reason. Get out of here. Again, fans, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I know what's going on. Cleveland trying to sabotage my show right now. But I'm gonna log off the show and we're gonna log back on, fans. So stick with us, man. Stick with us. We having some issues right now. And I'm gonna be right back. Cleveland, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Man, bro, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
There
No,
we
you
go.
can't.
There we go. I got you.
Okay, cool. Glad that they logged out and logged back in so we can hear one another again.
Okay, yeah. All right, fans. I hope you guys are still there. Now I'm gonna try one more thing, man. I don't know. I put a lot of work into this. What up? What up, Barry? What's good with you? We're trying one more thing, man. I put a lot of work into this, fans. I gotta show you guys this, man. I don't know. Look at my.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting them.
Best team to fight with. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. You know, get back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. You know, only thing is you just gotta be dedicated. You gotta keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with him?
Yes. It's easy to score all over the world. Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about the
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Or can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of them.
Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you're not trying to win a championship, then why you playing?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
And where'd you hide that draft board? It wasn't in your locker room. Where was it at? Picked up any sticks recently? I know you said in December you quit playing because you don't like the L.
What's in you? What question you asking?
I'm saying, have you picked up the sticks? Have you picked up the sticks at all? Oh, this guy.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay. You are okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now we got him back. Now he got his stuff together. Way to go, Cleveland. Way to go. Because boy.
Happy to be here, Cam. Happy to be here.
Man.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, that's your boy.
he's up again. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I'm not
I
doing
can't hear
anything.
you. You cutting in and out. I don't know what you're doing over there. See, fans, he's sabotaging the show. That's all I gotta say. He's sabotaging the show
You literally
because he can't stand it's NBA playoff basketball right now, and Cleveland don't want to talk about it right now. He don't want to talk about it. I don't know what's going on. My mic is working. Can you hear this, fans? Is this thing on? My mic is working, but Cleveland over here sabotaging my show, man. This is why I need a co-host. I need another co-host, man. Not only is he coming up with crap, some BS, bogus NBA player rankings. Now he don't even want to come on the show. Don't want to attend to. He don't want to answer for his BS. He don't want to answer for the BS, fans. And what am I supposed to do with this? How am I supposed to work under these conditions when he don't want to address his
You really can't hear me, Cam? Cam, you can't hear
I'm
me?
just saying, you gotta. There's an article in there he don't even want to address. There's an article, voiceofthefans.org, fans. If you guys don't know about it, you got to check out the article, voiceofthefans.org, while Cleveland works on this stuff. I'm so disappointed right now. Each and every week, fans, as you guys know, we start off the show. We play our numbers game. We give you this week in history. We end the show with a motivational quote for you. But Cleveland don't want to be a part of the show.
No, you can't hear me?
Because it's NBA playoff basketball, and he's come up with some ranking system that just it needs to be thrown out the water. It needed to be thrown out with the gas water out the window. But Cleveland, I mean, the people see your lips moving, but they can't hear you talking. They see your lips moving, but they can't hear you talking, man. Fix your mic over there. Get it together. Because this is important stuff that we got to address. Like, again, I want to know. Oh, you can hear him? You can hear him? It's not me. It's not me.
So you can hear
give me
me.
Give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear him. MJ Lover. MJ Lover. That's a funny name for this dude, too, by the way, fans. That's a funny. Give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear him. Because this voiceofthefans.org. Log off and come back on, big guy. Okay, so he can't hear you over there. Log off and come back on because I can't hear you. I'm good. I'll be here. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. Just for those who don't know, if you go to voiceofthefans.org, Cleveland created a ranking system of what the criteria for winning an NBA championship. And I think it's so farcical that we're going to spend, those who have heard about it might be bored because I'm going to just blow it up again. Are you in there? Can I hear you now?
Here, can you hear me?
Bro, I don't know what's the deal. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And it's frustrating right now. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I got you.
I ain't trying to get him off the show, man, but I just need number one, I need somebody with some actual NBA knowledge on the show.
I'm so passionate.
You see, he's flapping his jaws over there like somebody. I can't hear him. Fans, I'm gonna do this one more time, fans. I'm only doing this for this guy here, man. Oh, the show must go on. So one more chance. I'm gonna log off, fans.
Okay.
And I'm gonna log back in.
Okay.
I'm gonna log. Hopefully, he has his stuff together. Because I got some question asked. Like, where does Anthony Edwards rank in his farcical system? Where does Anthony Edwards rank? That's one of the first questions that I have to ask, and he don't even want to address it. He didn't want to address it.
I even have an analogy about who.
Where does SGA rank? Where does SGA rank in the BS? And does he have Anthony SGA in his little system here? He don't even want to address it. This is stuff. This is exactly what I'm saying, fans. He knows who's coming at him, and he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any retorts. So now he's trying to act like his mic don't work. You know, we see a computer in the background. Not once has he went to try to log off on the computer in the background.
I logged off
because he knows he can't handle this argument.
I logged off and I came back on, and I have an analogy. I have an analogy for Ant-Man. So when
right now, I'm gonna invite you to the show too, because I need somebody who I can talk to who has some similar to what it is, what the NBA is all about, what this time of year is. And Cleveland don't even. He's a tennis player. How can he come up with a basketball ranking? How can he come up with a basketball categories that I should even pay attention to? Because I'm logging back off, fans. Fans, please stick with us. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll give you a round of applause for sticking with the show. Suffering through the technical difficulties. I'm blaming it all on Cleveland, though. You guys can hear me. Cleveland, I don't know what he's on his phone, his iPad, the burner account. I don't know what he's using over there, but it's not allowing his voice to come through because he doesn't want to address what the topics I have for him tonight. He don't want to address it. He already lost some money. If you watched the show last week, he already lost some money. And he already owed me dinner, but now I got to press him on this categories again. He don't want to have the conversation because it didn't go well for him last week. So he don't want to have it again. Cleveland, I'm logging off the whole thing. Come back, fans. Please stick with us. Please stick with us. It's only taking me a couple minutes to come back. Let's see if Cleveland is ready to face the music. Okay. You there?
Cam, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, man. Stop playing with the volume.
I am so glad that when you come out and you come back in, that it works out. Because
Stop playing with the volume.
now. We can chit chat now. We can talk about things. That's beautiful. Have conversations and whatnot.
All right, fans. The fans have been waiting to hear a conversation, fans. We just start the show. This is week 291 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Fans, I thank you guys for tuning into the show. Thank you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Send them a link right now so they can be part of the show. We start the number game. We start the show off with our numbers game each and every week. This week would have been May 8th, 2024. When you think of the number 8, who come to your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best?
Cam, it's NBA playoff season, so it's going to be the same answer for both, and that would be Kobe Bean Bryant.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one there. No argument there. Okay, continue with it being the NBA season. When you think of the number 91, who wore that jersey number the best?
Cam, it's NBA playoff season. It's the same person, Dennis Rodman, for both.
Oh, there. We get right. We just shuffle right on through that section right now. Cleveland. You want to continue with this? Does Jalen Brunson get elevated now?
No.
It's round 2. Last week your reasoning was it's round 1. We can't elevate him after round 1. Now he did it. Now round 1 is accomplished. I think in that series he averaged 42 points a game or something like that. Your boy Carmelo didn't even do that. Do you elevate Jalen Brunson now?
No.
What's your reason now? Explain to the
because it's the second round. He did that in the first round. That was great. That's cool. That's beautiful. I don't see sustainability within him. And it's just the second round. So
did you not see a difference? Did you not see a difference with the Knicks performance with Jalen Brunson and without Jalen Brunson? Because right now with Jalen Brunson coming back, now they're about to win game 2.
He's a difference maker, no question, Cam.
Oh, but he doesn't make your BS ranking system right now.
Well, no, he's a usual suspect. He has not elevated to playoff legend just yet. No.
Where do you have Anthony Edwards in your ranking system?
Well, at present, he is a usual suspect, but he is on a trajectory. He's on a trajectory to elevate.
Were they in the playoffs last year? Were they in the playoffs last year?
Sure were. They lost to somebody.
He has them as the usual suspects. Mm-hmm. So the Timberwolves, 2-0. The Timberwolves are 2-0 over the Nuggets. Who you chose? You picked the Nuggets. Fans, when I asked Cleveland last week, who he had winning the NBA Finals, what do you guys think he said? He goes with the chalk, fans. Didn't you, Cleveland? Did you go with the chalk? Do I have that right?
I went with the Denver Nuggets over the field.
The Denver Nuggets over the field. How you feel about that pick right now, Cleveland? How you feel about that?
A little concerned, a little nervous. They haven't looked like the champs. They haven't really looked like themselves. And fans, as you well know, I've always said, not always said, but going into the playoffs, I said the most important player in the NBA was Jamal Murray.
Oh,
And
here we go.
you see
Oh
exactly
boy.
why I was saying that.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
he's
now
playing-
now he trying to come with a built-in excuse.
But right now, he's not playing at the peak of his powers. Not even
Oh,
though-
here we go. Okay, but you already confirmed last week that Jamal Murray was a basketball god. You confirmed that last week, right?
Yeah, I did.
So now you try to say, now you try to you have your built-in excuse.
There's no excuses or no explanations in the NBA playoffs, Cam. Like the late great Yoda once said, either do or do not do. So I mean, if they're not going to win the championship,
Well, you know what? So here's a couple things. There's an excuse. There is an excuse. There is an excuse, but you'll laugh at this excuse. You'll laugh at it because you believe stuff like this doesn't matter. You believe when and fans, if you guys follow the show, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Because Cleveland will say somebody like Nas Reed, the sixth man of the year, like he doesn't matter on the court against Nikola Jokic. You see him shaking his head against Nikola Jokic. And
nah, man, don't bring your bench players in all this, man. It's not about your bench players.
Okay, we're just circle that, pin that one right there. Are you okay with Rudy's absence? Now we talked about Vince Carter.
Yeah, Cam, it's 2024, man. Shoot, man. Enough with your chauvinism. If somebody's having a kid, go have your child be a part of the birth of your child, man. Shoot. There's more important things than NBA basketball, okay? Like, for example, the birth of your child. You don't got this ain't 1952 where you sit outside in the waiting room and hey, tell me, was it a boy or a girl? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go out with my friends and drink some beers and have some cigars.
You're exactly right, Cleveland. It's not 1952. It's not 1952 where you're sitting outside waiting for the doctor. It's not 1952. You're exactly right, Cleveland. I'm glad you made that point right there. They do have iPhones right there. Google even had this thing where you can talk to your grandparents. They promoted it. I don't have one, but Google also have the screen where you can call your grandmother and talk to the grandmother and see her on the screen, and you can ask her for the recipe. How do you make the banana pudding cake? She can give you a recipe right there. You guys have interaction. So if you really wanted to chime in, you can put her on the iPhone with the FaceTime.
Hands. Forgive Cam Buford for his brash delivery.
You're gone again.
Yes.
You see,
in the waiting room.
And he didn't want to ask you. You're gone again. I don't know, but it's not 1952. You're exactly right.
Cut the cord.
And this is how this guy,
your spouse, and your newborn child. Got no problem with it.
I don't know what your sound is doing. I don't know what your sound is doing.
I said I didn't do
but
anything.
I have to make this point. It is not 1952, as you stated. He should be in the arena. The only way you miss this game is if your girl's in a fatal condition to where you may not see her again healthy. That's the only way you miss this game. That's the only way you miss an NBA playoff game.
Wow.
Is if your girl's not is having medical conditions to where she might not be where she not might not come back, but you don't miss a game. You don't miss an NBA
not true.
playoff game.
Not true.
For the birth of the child.
Not true.
You don't. You do not miss it. My question was: is a graduation or pending birth a good excuse to miss the birth of the child? It's not a good excuse. Fans, you guys can get on me. Cleveland try to call it male chauvinist. You do not miss the game for the birth of your child unless your woman is going through a fatal situation. That I could potentially excuse.
Can't agree.
I can potentially excuse the fatal situation where she really needs your hand right there. Other than that, there's FaceTime. There's the Google Cloud where you guys can do the Google Cloud. Mom could be there. Many people have been able to do both.
It's not more important.
That's true. The way technology is and airplane, he can get on the plane. Minnesota to Denver is not that far, is it? Is that a less than a 90-minute flight? Get your ass on the plane and get back onto the team. Come on, Rudy. Come on, Rudy. Get your ass on the plane and get back to the team, fans. Not a popular opinion, but that's my opinion. And Cleveland knew that was coming. He knew that was coming. That's why he shut his mic off. Are you going to rejoin the show, Cleveland? Or do we have to shut things down again and come back so you can be part of the show?
So if you can't hear me,
you're not going to
I
fix
will
your mic.
shut it
I don't know
down.
what's going on with you.
Can you hear me?
But this is one more time. Again, ready to go. Ready to go, fans. You cannot miss a birthday. You cannot miss a playoff game for the birthday of your child. You can't do it. You can't do it. You there?
You got me? No?
Man, yeah, it's Cleveland, man. Cleveland got the mute button pressed on the mic because he don't want to hear what I got to say, MJ. He don't want to hear what I got to say. So I'm gonna do this one final time, fans, and I apologize, fans. Again, give yourself a round of applause for singing. This is the most disjointed the show has been at the start for a while. I mean, since one of our early shows. But I don't know. You say you can hear us both. I can't hear Cleveland, so I can't hear that any BS argument that he's coming with. I can't hear it. And I'm not able to retort any of this blah 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 that he's coming with. So I'm gonna do this one more time for the fans. Cleveland, I'm logging off. Just log off and come back out. I'm logging off right now. Can you hear me, Cleveland?
Cam, I can hear you. Can you
Man,
hear me?
Would you stop messing with the microphone?
I'm not touching anything.
Yeah, I sent you the link. You should have the link. I sent it to you moments ago, man. I sent you the link. You should have it. Let me know if you don't.
So can I get back to what I was saying? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. About
well,
I don't
yeah,
know what happened in this game. This was a 2-point game. It was 110 to 108, and it just the Knicks went on a 20 to 15 run here. That quick to go up 0-2 or go up 2-0, excuse me. So what do you got to say about Rudy, man?
Yeah, it's 2024, Cam, and you know that's just not the attitude and the culture anymore. You know, when your child is being born, it is significant that it is something greater than basketball, and you know you take the time out to experience that experience, regardless of what's going on.
So I was posed the question. What if it was her who demanded that he attend the birth?
Oh man, that wasn't a thing. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that that's what you do nowadays. If it was Game 7, it would be the same thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna go into. I disagree with Cleveland. I disagree with Rudy's wife. Had she told him, had she laid down the law and put the ultimatum like that, he should leave her. Because how do you think Rudy Gobert is gonna pay for her birth, the child's schooling, the upbringing, the lifestyle that they have? How do you think Rudy's doing that? You think he had this is a side job playing in NBA finals or NBA playoffs? Do you think this is a part-time job like they were doing back in 1952 when they had when the doctors and lawyers, you know, that JJ Redick spoke about, when the accountants and lawyers and carpenters, you think they had a side job? Is that what you think, idiot?
Hey Cam, their priorities were way out of whack back then. and now they're
Is that what they think? Because that's how he's paying for their lifestyle.
Cam, to be perfectly honest with you, Rudy Gobert is
on your mic, bro. I don't know what to do with. You need to hit refresh, man. You need to hit something. I don't know what's up with your mic. I can't keep doing it in and out. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't think that's fans. Just so you guys know. Yeah, I just resent it, man. I just resent it to you, MJ. Check it out, Clint.
I'm right back.
There,
sir? You hear me?
I don't know what to sleep on, man. I don't know what the hell's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me now, Cleveland?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Stop with whatever you're doing, man.
Bro, I am not touching a single button. It's just going.
But yeah, I don't think I think that's a bad. I know you don't want to hear it, but the question was asked to me. What if it was her? I said, yeah, he should leave her, man. That's how he's taking care of the household is by playing basketball, and have a midwife, travel on the road, come to the house, or whatever the deal is. But you can't miss a game for that. And him missing a game allowed, but not say allowed, but Naz Reid filled in admirably. I don't know how Naz Reid now doesn't have your attention because he was able to give the Joker just as hard of his time as Rudy may have gave him. You know, he's another body, Cleveland. One thing, how did the Lakers win their bubble championship? What was the advantage that they had over the Denver Nuggets?
Size and experience.
Okay, well, let's focus on the size right now. Who was on their team? Do you remember who the big men were on their team?
They had Anthony Davis. They had Shaq Nafool. What's his name? JaVale McGee.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
They had, I believe, Dwight Howard was on that team as well. So they had some bodies. Yeah.
So, do you agree with MJ? You sound only. Clint, can you hear us, Clint? I can't hear you. I brought you on stage. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
What's up, fam? What's up, fam?
What's up with it? What's up with it? This is playoff season, man. This is playoff time. And this is, Cleveland has created this. We'll speed through it just for you right now. But on the website, voiceofthefans.org, there's an article that was posted. It's a really detailed article. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's pretty detailed. Cleveland, what's the name of the article?
What it takes to win an NBA championship, Big Clint.
Okay. So he broke down specific categories for the players that are in the playoffs. He has the young bloods. He has the new breed. He has what? Go ahead, Clint.
Let me go ahead and break this down. It's the newcomers, right? It is the players that have gotten their teams to the playoffs for the first time in their career. Mm-hmm. My example of this was Paolo Banchero.
Yeah.
Then you have your usual suspects. These are players that perennially get their teams to the playoffs, but don't necessarily advance very far in the playoffs. So they're a factor, but not really a consideration. These are players like your Jalen Brunsons.
See, okay. that he's already has a flaw in the argument right there.
Then you get to your basketball legends, right? These are players that traditionally or have proven to every once in a while get their team almost to the pinnacle, almost to the championship, but falls a little bit short. For example, a Jason Tatum or a Luka Doncic.
So do you have a Devin Booker in that category? Do you have a Devin Booker in that category?
Devin Booker is definitely in that category.
See what BS this is.
Wait. Which category is that? 2 or 3?
That's
3.
That's category 3.
3. Okay.
That's your playoff legends that get them almost there, but not
Devin
quite
Booker. The Devin Booker playoff legend. You hear this garbage?
And he's been to the championship, right? Yeah, he sure has. So then you have your basketball gods. Those are players that can single-handedly put a team on their back and carry them to the promised land.
Listen to this. Where do you have Charles Barkley? Where's Charles Barkley? Where is he in your ranking?
He's a basketball legend. He's never been able to pick a team up and carry them to the promised land.
When the hard questions come out, man, his mic goes dead. When the hard questions come out, his mic goes dead.
I can
I
hear
don't know
both
what's
of you
going
guys.
on. I don't know why he has to turn his mic off when
That's your mic.
Pressure. I think it might be an anxiety button.
Clee, can you hear me?
As soon as
I got you.
The heart rate goes up,
he
his
can't hear
microphone goes
you.
dead.
That's his mic.
Can you hear Clint?
Clint, are you with me, Clint?
Yeah, see, he lost. That's his cheap equipment.
See, that's
fans of Voice of the Fans. Can we get together a
I think when the heart rate goes up,
for
the mic
Cam?
goes off. That's what I believe it.
It's that because we can hear each other, but he can't hear us for some reason.
Now there's nothing to say.
That is so funny. Clee, we can probably talk. Hold on. I'm gonna type something to Cam and have him just listen for a minute. And for a minute, please. And I can
I don't know how we
hear each other. Give us a minute.
You guys can hear each other, but I can't.
Yeah. Okay, so Clee. So here we go. Charles Barkley.
Yeah, you guys go.
agree
You
with
guys
that.
go wrap it up. You guys go chop it up. Try to get your argument together.
Yeah.
And I'll
All right,
bow
you
out.
just-
I'll bow out and come back to you guys.
All
You
right,
guys
so
go
we're gonna
get-
take
get-
2
get-
minutes
get
to
your
go
argument
through this
together.
real quick.
Let me
So,
bow
I
out.
got your article up, Clee. I see it, and of course, I don't disagree with most of it. Most of it, right on. Devin Booker, I think, is a front runner. I don't like. I mean, he's talented, of course. I mean, we all know, 70-point dude. I mean, he can score for sure. I don't like him as a leader of the team just because he doesn't. Oh, he. What? How do I? Okay, you know the guys that can't play defense, but put energy into trying to play defense when they're mainly offensive guys.
Right.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
Who else is like that? Is Kyrie's like that too?
And in addition, those are the type of guys that like they know where their bread is buttered, and so they always try to hang their hat on that, and that will ultimately be what leads them to a championship if they get there.
Right.
If they don't, then that will be the detriment to them, right?
Right.
And
I
so
agree.
it's like you can only go so far with that, right? And then you have to take the next step. And if you take the next step and you leap out there and you can't get there, well, that makes you a basketball legend. It doesn't make you a basketball god.
Right.
Because in that same series, Giannis leaped out there and went for 50 and 14 and just snatched it, right?
Exactly.
That makes you
That was one game. That was one game.
That is true. That's one of the most important games, though.
Yeah. And so that's the differentiation right there. That's where it changes, right?
So is Charles Barkley not a basketball?
He's not a basketball god. No.
You know why Charles Barkley isn't a basketball god? As far as I mean, his ability is undeniable. We know that. We know how good Charles Barkley is.
He lost to the best player to ever play the game.
No, you're right. You're right about that, but you don't apply it to everybody. That's what I have. That's my beef I have with you.
I didn't say Kevin Johnson. I didn't say Dan Marley.
I know. I get that, but that's the thing, though. So with that said, Charles Barkley can get to the promised land. Like he's won big games before. The issue with Charles Barkley is that he hasn't finished. Like of course, you guys say he played against the best player to ever play the game, and that's great. However, there's other players that have lost to teams that are better than theirs, and you absolutely killed them. And this isn't LeBron. This isn't LeBron. So don't.
Give me an example. Who you
wipe
gonna
him
say?
away from that. I'm not even talking about
You're gonna
LeBron.
say,
I'm talking
John
about other
Stockton?
players.
Where's John Stockton? Where's John Stockton on this list? Two-time Western Conference finalist.
You already know where he's at because you understand the criteria. Where is he at?
The all-time assist leader. Where is John Stockton?
So you understand the criteria and you understand what his accomplishments were in the league.
Can I answer this, Clee? I think I get, because I have the article in front of me, and I think I have a good grasp on this. I might be wrong, but let me guess. So John Stockton is a category 4.
My sound because I hear myself.
Which is a what, Clint?
Which is it? He's not a basketball god, but he is a legend. So I guess that's 3.
No, it's just that simple, right?
That's not that. Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? No. How do you not? I get it. I get that. Is he gone again? Cam, leave again so we can talk.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't say he wasn't. I mean, basketball legend is not a slight. It's not a knock.
No, it's not. It isn't. I mean, it's the same with Karl Malone. Karl Malone is in that same instance, right? It's the basketball gods. Here, let me see if I can get it. So the basketball gods are Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Oscar, Bill Russell,
Kobe,
Duncan, Kobe,
Steph
Shaq,
Curry,
So Curry, yeah, exactly. So those are, and I get that. I totally get that. I have, like, the only thing with Curry though being a basketball god is I don't have him in my top 10. I barely have him in my top 15, to be honest with you. And that's the only reason for that. Defense. His defense is you can't be in the top 10 when teams hunt you in the fourth quarter consistently on defense.
And certainly that is not his calling card.
Right.
But as the article reads a little bit further, what I preface it by saying is that everyone that has won a championship in the last 35 years, less the Detroit Pistons, has had one of the 75 greatest players to ever pick up a basketball on their team.
Right.
The only 2 teams that didn't have someone to win the MVP of the league are the 1990 Pistons, because Isaiah never won an MVP of the league, and the 2019 Toronto Raptors, because Kawhi Leonard never won an MVP of the league. Now, both of those players won an NBA Finals MVP, however.
Right. So that's the thing too, and I would say this, because for the 1990 Pistons, or even just the 80s Pistons going forward, Isaiah Thomas was definitely an MVP of the league caliber player, but he sacrificed a lot of his game for the team, and that was a credit to Chuck Daly as a coach, because he told him, if your team is going to be successful, you have to sacrifice more, because Isaiah could have easily averaged 30 points a game. He was virtually unstoppable on offense. People don't realize that. I mean, to the point where that 14-degree ankle sprain he had against the Lakers in '88 in Game 6 basically cost him the championship, and he still hit 26 in a quarter. So you can't tell me that Isaiah Thomas didn't have the tools to be, one of the best guards ever, if not the best scoring point guard ever. He was up there. People don't realize that. Even Bobby Knight held him back. In high school, Isaiah Thomas was a monster. Dude, everybody will tell you back in Chicago. Those stories are legendary.
Those St. Joe's stories are
Yeah, I mean, in the Olympics too. I mean, he was one of the best players on the 80 Olympics team. So I mean, people are not their attention spans aren't long enough to actually dig deeper into the second and third level of some of these players talking about the new NBA. And that's the problem. Until they do, they're not going to get your article, and they're not going to get the bridge between the old NBA and today's NBA. They're not.
What's good, Boots? Now we got another veteran.
Yeah, Boots, because that is the anomaly, right? That is exactly what I prefaced the article with saying. Mm-hmm. Unless we're talking about the 2004 Pistons, it applies to every other team that has won the championship since 1990.
And even then, think about this. So the 2004 Detroit Pistons, we know they were loaded with talent. Like Richard Hamilton,
Richard Ben
Wallace was the best. Rasheed Wallace was the best player on that team, on offense and defense. We all know that. Any one of those 3 or 4 players that started for the Pistons could have won the Finals MVP that year, but it just happened to be Chauncey, just because he was hitting some big time shots and he was playing some decent defense on Kobe when they needed to have stops. I mean, that's just what I saw. I can go back and look. I might be a little mistaken about that, but that's what I saw when I watched that. And I was sick about that because I thought Karl Malone was going to get his first championship until clumsy ass Scott Williams fell onto his damn leg and hurt him before the finals.
I thought it was going to be GP's first one. He had to wait until 11 to get it.
And that's another story.
So you have a bogus injury or fluke injury keeping Karl Malone out of this basketball. Sound like you agree from what I'm hearing. You agree with the categories. So you have a bogus injury or a fluke injury keeping Karl Malone out of the basketball god category, Clint. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah. Karl Malone was 17 points a game that year. That's 17 points a game off of the starting lineup of the Lakers.
How does a fluke injury change the course of this guy's legacy?
Well, I'll ask you a simple one. How does Derrick Rose injury keep him out of legendary status? We knew he was going to be a legend.
I mean, he had like 5 or 6 injuries. I mean, that at one point that it's not fluke anymore, right?
Well, that was just one. One started it all, though.
But I'm just saying, Karl Malone played 18 years, 17 years without getting injured, and then when one fluke injury, it happens. It takes away his chance for a ring.
Well,
so
it doesn't. It's just like you said. It doesn't help him when he goes up against one of the best players of all time, the best teams of all time, and you can't beat them once. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I can say it, I remember there was this one guy that played on this one team that beat a team that won 73 games in a season.
Went 73 and
he was able to do it.
Here we go.
I'm just saying, did it or did it not happen?
Here we go. I mean, with the refs help and with the refs help and all that, the stimulus package that was given.
Karl Malone went back to the finals, and as a matter of fact, that game 6, good Lord, up by 37 seconds left.
Exactly.
Pull it out.
Right?
I mean,
right.
Hold the ball.
He's the one that got the ball stolen from him, right? All he had to do was look. He caught the ball. He fell asleep. Jordan came and stole the ball from him.
Who came and stole it? Who came and stole it from him?
Yeah, on the double team.
Who came?
All he had to do was look, though.
Year before that, he wouldn't foul, knowing that he needed to give a foul. He didn't want to leave the game.
He totally did too.
And then missed free throws because people walked up to him and said, "Mailman don't deliver on Sundays."
He sure did do that. I forgot about that. He was the coach was all over him about it too. A Hall of Fame, Class 5 Hall of Famer, refused to foul because he had 5 and he didn't want to leave the game because he wanted to be in the game and not help his team. Let that sink in.
100% happened.
Let that sink in. That's how you get taken off of top tier status. Those little things. You work your whole career to get to one point, and the coach and the team is counting on you. Hey, we need you to foul so we have a chance. Even though you'll be out, you have to trust your teammates that they'll be able to pull it out without you, and he didn't do that.
Send in Ostertag. Let Ostertag get the foul.
Hey man, I don't know who it was. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, at that point, they needed a score. They didn't get it. They needed a foul. He didn't do it when he was supposed to do it. He runs all the way down the lane and gets a layup. You got to foul. You got to foul and trust your team is going to pull that out so you can get to a game 7. You have to do it. He didn't do it.
It sounds like I can't believe it. It sounds like you're in agreement with this with these categories that Cleveland is creating.
Dude, it's not just Clee didn't pull these categories out of the air. No, this article, the categories are not unreasonable. They're not. They're really not. If you really just go down the list of different things, you have to. I mean, think about that. So I got people talking about Jalen Brunson is a superstar. He is not a superstar. You know why? He's not even better than Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler went to 2 finals.
What?
And he's not a superstar. Jimmy Butler's not a superstar. Newsflash.
He's a basketball legend, right?
Right. He's not a superstar.
Hold on. So he had Jalen Brunson. He used it correctly to start the show. He has Jalen Brunson as his usual suspect. So my argument for this, first of all, Clint, this goes back to, I mean, we do this show weekly, so it's May now. I've been asking Cleveland if he believed in the Knicks and Jalen Brunson since at least January, Cleveland. At least January, I've been asking this question. Do you believe in the Knicks? Do you believe in SGA in OKC Thunder? Do you believe in Minnesota Timberwolves? This conversation I've been having with Cleveland since before All-Star break. Okay, so what I'm about to say, this doesn't Cleveland knows this. He don't might not agree with my sentiment, but he knows this argument didn't just prop up here in the playoff time. So in my arguments for the 3 arguments I'll give to you real quickly. Jalen Brunson should be elevated. Anthony Edwards should be elevated. SGA, I had SGA as an MVP category in MVP ranking. Like it was between going down to the last week of the season. It was Anthony, in my opinion, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were competing for the MVP. Jokic had a good season, but I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because they're the youngest team, which Cleveland doesn't want to give these guys any credit because they're young and they haven't done anything yet. Still, they led the week. They were in contention in the Western Conference for having the best record in the Western Conference, and we know the Western Conference is much better than the Eastern Conference. We already know that. Boston, I can't give Jason Tatum any credit, and I don't like to talk about the Boston Celtics because they're so disappointing. I can't give Jason any credit because he's the leader, he's the best player on the team, and they're so up and down. I just don't have any faith in those guys. So he falls below Luka, below SGA, below Anthony, who I thought Anthony, because him and SGA competing, even though their teams are young, and I will give the nod to SGA because he had less help, less identifiable help than
okay,
Anthony.
slow down.
Anthony at least had, you could say,
down with the big
Rudy
words,
Gobert
sir.
was a 3-time defensive player of the year before this season.
So
you can't say he had Karl-Anthony Towns. Well, now I don't think Karl
roll the ball out.
A lot of he is a big body, so you can't say Anthony Edwards had a little bit more help. He had the 6th man of the year. He had arguably the coach of the year, so you can say that he had more help. But SGA, there's no argument for keeping him out of. There's no argument for keeping him out of that category.
Out of what category?
There's no argument for keeping SGA out of that category. And I think my argument, Clint, was that SGA should be elevated. My argument is that Jalen Brunson should be elevated on his play alone in the regular season. The playoff season has been something different. And
elevated
Anthony
to what?
Edwards. So that's really where my argument stands with those 3 guys. and Cleveland refused to acknowledge that their performance and doesn't want to elevate them.
What elevated to what?
He wants them elevated to.
I can't. I can't hear either one of you guys.
He wants them elevated to basketball legend, and I am not willing to do so until they get their team to an NBA final. So you can talk me to death about Jalen Brunson. I'm never going to really adhere to that until he gets his team to an NBA finals, and I don't think he's capable of doing that.
I don't think he can do it. Even with this year, I just looked at this game, and he was out for like I think a whole quarter already, just because of injury or something like that.
You can tell worn. You can tell he's worn down from trying to carry the New York Knicks on his back.
Dude. There's only so much that he is going to be able to do with that squad, and they're playing well. I mean, they just held home court with a depleted team, which is commendable. However, it's not like he's not the first person to do this. Right.
Yeah.
So what they're doing right now versus the team that they clowned for being in the in-season tournament championship, which is in the second round now, this team actually usually scores about 120 points a game. You're in the Garden, you're at home, you got the boost of the crowd behind you, you have a whole bunch of adrenaline, and you have an advantage at this point. They did what they were supposed to do. Now, let's see what happens when they go back to Indiana. Right? Whatever happens and we all know this as following basketball for decades. Playoff ball does not start in a series until the road team wins. It's always been like that. It's always going to be like that. It's never going to change, no matter how much the social media first level thinkers want you to think that every game is a live or die game. It's not. It really isn't.
So when one team loses 2 games in a row on their home court, the visitor team, when does that series begin?
All right, you're leading me into something here, but I'm not gonna.
Wow, quick transition away from Jalen. You didn't like all that Jalen talk, so quick transition. But
I heard him slide that in there. That's that media savvy.
Yeah. But before we go, let me just say this: Jalen gets his buckets too difficult, and you can see him starting to wear down, and it's not sustainable through 3 rounds to the finals, in my opinion. And so for that reason, I cannot call him a basketball legend.
Boots is right in that situation. You don't do it on one season. You don't do it in 1 year, Boots. This is a progression though. But if you do it game in, game out, time in, time out, like you gotta pay attention to that.
So he's on the radar.
Pay attention to it, of course. I mean, these are what he's doing it hasn't been done by a lot of people in NBA history. So you definitely have to pay attention to it. However, with that said, I mean, unless he's going against the same guys, throughout the season, these are matchups. He has favorable matchups with these 2 teams that he's playing against right now. It's going to come down to, and unfortunately, that's what social media is now. It's even worse now than it was before. You have to get to a championship, and you have to win it, right? Just getting to a championship is great, even with a team. I mean, we've seen too many players carry teams that have no business being in the finals to the finals. Now we're at the point where people have to win it now.
I.e. Devin Booker.
I.e. Jimmy Butler, man.
I.e. Jimmy Butler, i.e. Devin Booker. Yeah. I agree. 100%. And like I said, I was telling Clee, I don't think you heard this, Cam. I really not a big fan of Devin Booker. He's a front runner. He's a front runner in my opinion. I don't like the way that he only talks when he's up.
Right.
And he cries when he's down, and he flops for calls instead of trying to score a lot when he gets in crowds, and especially when he gets, how he hates double teams.
Yeah, he just needs help. He just needs help, and people see him shoot a jumper and believes like, oh, he can do it. He's the next coming. Like, nah, dog. There's more to it than just shooting a jumper, and he needs help. In Phoenix, I mean, I thought, and to be honest with you, probably 2 seasons ago, when they get rid of Chris Paul, I thought he had learned enough from Chris Paul that he can fill in and step in. But it's just not in him to be that guy. So
No, but that's the thing. He doesn't have a defensive acumen either. Chris Paul was one of the best defensive guards that we probably ever seen in the NBA. Right? He's highly underrated on defense. He's smart as hell. He knows angles. He knows how to put.
He knows angles and positioning.
Exactly.
Does it? Okay, just real quick on a different tangent. Because you know angles and position, does that make you a good defender, or does that make you just a smart player?
It's a little bit of both, because to play defense, you gotta you can have all the athletic ability to play defense. If you don't know how to play defense,
right? If you don't know the angles, if you don't know the angles,
you're not. Now, if you have the angles and you have the footwork and you have the athleticism to do it, and you have the want to, if you want to play defense with all those out, even if you can't play defense, if you want to play defense, you can be a good team defender. 100%.
I.e. Josh Hart.
There you go. Josh Hart. That's a good example. Josh Hart, I thought, would be a better individual defender, but he's not. He is a good team defender, though. I'll give him that. Who else would I put in that category of being a good defender? I mean, you can go down the list on Minnesota.
So break this down. Break this down while we have you, Clint. You talked about Devin Booker. You're not a fan of Devin Booker.
Right.
What is the deal with I see this guy very similar, not the same style player, but I think his output is very similar. Is Devin Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell he's a weird dude, man, because of course he's a combo guard. I mean, he's not really a point guard. He's a shooting guard, but he's point guard sized, right, as far as his height goes. However, he's a big dude. Like he's a ridiculous. He's one of those weird athletes. Whereas, like, he's actually I estimate he's about, from shoulder to shoulder, he's about 10 to 15% wider than your average person. Like he has this really big upper body chest. His legs are scrawny, but he has like over a 40-inch vertical, easy. Mm-hmm. And he plays the game by feel. He doesn't really have a go-to move. Mm-hmm. Right? He just plays the game by feel, and he just does what he does when he sees openness. He just does things. We know what Brunson's go-to moves are, right? He goes to the left, up fake, pivot, draw contact, fade away. That we know what his go-to moves are. We don't know what he does. We really don't. Like he doesn't, like, what is his go-to move?
Yeah, I mean, do you buy into that? Do you count on that? Like he's Devin Booker-ish in the sense that you can't count on that at the right time, at the right moment,
You have to have something consistent. Each person has to have at least 2 or 3 go-to moves to be consistently putting their team in the best positions to be successful. And I don't see it with Spider.
He picks weird games to go off, right?
Right.
You'd be like 1, 2, and 5, but you really needed 4.
Right. To change the series, right?
Random games, like he'll go for 45, like, oh well,
exactly.
It was already down 3-1.
Yeah.
It's like late,
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the great point on that, because if we go to Minnesota, which is kind of the natural progression, Ant-Man is going to be a solid 25 to 28 points a game without question. That's usually what it is with him, right? He has a ton of good moves. He's an athlete, that. There's not really anybody on that team that can stop him, and they can't double him because everybody else is going off. Cat's going off. Even the cat from off the bench, I forget his name, the dude with 14 names. The other dude with 14 names.
Nickeil Anthony Walker.
He's playing well. You
guys know that Shea Cousin, by the way.
Shea Cousin? Is that?
Yeah, that's Shea Cousin.
Right. Okay, the 3-name family. Yeah, but he's doing his thing. Naz Reid. Oh my God,
Wait.
not
Don't speak
somebody
too
that's
loud. Don't
supposed to
speak
be.
too loud. Somebody's mic's gonna cut off if you speak too loud about Nas Reed.
Nas Reed is you know who I equate Nas Reed to, and
Let's
people are
hear it.
gonna laugh at me for
Let's
this.
hear it.
What was that one guy's name in Washington when it was the Wizards? Blatt something, the tall guy, the 6'9", 6'10" dude. That he really didn't. He was just tall. He was active, but he was kind of clumsy and aloof. But like 2 seasons, like over the course of 2 seasons, he got handles. He got a mid-range shot. He got a floater.
Oh, you're talking about Anthony Blatch.
Blatch, that dude. Nas Reed has pulled an Anthony Blatch in my opinion, as far as his
thanks, Bruce.
Dude, he was not this dude 2 years ago. He was not even close to this dude 2 years ago. What he's done, thank you, Bootzilla. What he's doing right now is what's pushing Minnesota over the top right now.
Oh, really?
You can't guard him. Well, okay, you can't leave him open. Evidently,
I'm with you. I just tried to have this conversation a little earlier, and I mentioned his name. You know, and somebody want to laugh at me when I mentioned his name before. like he's a non-factor.
But
and,
I'll tell you why that part of it is too, is because he's
not Anthony. He's not Anthony Edwards. That's why. No,
he's not Anthony Edwards, but he's also not Cat. He's also not Conley. He's not even really Gobert either, right? He's not. He could most likely start on probably a third of the NBA teams right now, just because of his progression. However, he's not any of those guys though, right? He's not. He's probably he's probably your fifth option.
He's the sixth man. He's the sixth man. As he won the sixth man a year.
Yeah, he did. No, 100%. But he's not. Well, I wouldn't even, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even put him in category 2. He's a category 1 guy. He barely that, to be honest with you. I mean,
right, but he has to your point, he's afforded the opportunity to play with Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. So he's allowed to develop slowly and be his guy, be that big guy, be that extra body, be the bruiser type.
But he can't develop if Cat doesn't miss time or Gobert doesn't miss time. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think that the Cat conversation is a little overdone. But yes, if he.
What you mean overdone?
I mean, Cat's overrated.
Well, Cat is not.
He's overrated. He's not the reason they're winning or losing. Okay, he's not. He is not.
So now I have to have this conversation with you.
He's not
okay, so let me talk you down off of that ladder.
What year is this for him? 5?
I get that.
What
let
year
me
is
talk you down off of this ladder.
You can't talk me down if he's not the reason for winning or losing, because they didn't win before with them.
Yeah,
it wasn't until the development Anthony Edwards had.
Okay, I'm gonna give one person really good props that I had, and I talk about this a lot in our Facebook groups because people don't understand the power of these people, and this would be GMs. Tom Conley gets ultimate kudos because that trade for Gobert was looked at as one of the worst trades in the last 2 or 3 seasons. However, what people don't realize what it did, what we at Laker Nation begging for people to do for us, is going out and getting someone that's going to play the center position full time, so Cat doesn't have to. Right. You see the difference in Cat not having to play the center.
You guys have
versus somebody that no, we didn't know. We did not.
You have that example when you guys won that Mickey Mouse championship.
Yes, that was 4 years. That was 4 or 5 seasons ago. That was 4 seasons ago. This past year,
that's your example.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We don't have that. Anthony Davis can't play center full time. It's not his natural position. You see how hurt he get. I commend him for playing as many games as he did this year, but he's not a center. He's not. And people try to put him at center. He's not a center. Go out and get somebody like a Gobert that's going to strictly play center. Hayes isn't the answer. He's a young guy. He did good things at the end of the season, but he's not that guy. Go get a guy like that to back him up so that he can play his natural position. I guarantee you, there's more wins on the horizon that way. That's how Minnesota has gotten to where he is. And that's why you talk bad about Cat right now, because he was playing center. It's not his natural position. He was getting hurt. He was getting roughed up, and his offense suffered for it too. That's why.
How many games did they miss this year? How many games did your guy Carl Anthony Towns miss this year? Like 30, right? Like he missed all from November to March is like what he missed, right?
Well, I'm going off of you. I'm not sure how many games he missed, but I know he
missed a bunch. He missed a good considerable amount, right?
Yeah, sure.
So when your guy flourishes during that amount of time, Anthony Edwards, and he's competing and leading this team, they were contending for the Western Conference, for the best record in the Western Conference since November.
Yeah.
Okay. They were able to do that because Nasri got a chance, an opportunity to play and a chance to grow. Rudy Gobert played that stifling defense that they brought him over to play.
He missed 20 games. He missed 20 games.
He missed 20 games.
20
and
games.
Okay, and your guy Anthony Edwards got a chance to flourish and become this MVP candidate, right?
Sure.
So then he comes now.
But you don't think that was going to happen anyway, though? You don't think that was going to happen with Cat in the lineup anyway, though?
I'm not giving Cat credit for this team getting to where they are, like you're trying to say, because of the roster makeup, the GM making these moves and allow Cat to play his natural position.
Why not?
I'm not.
What?
I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying makes sense.
Okay.
But I'm not giving that credit to Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns is he's a fourth option on that team. Okay?
What are you talking about? Are you serious right now?
Can't be. Carl is not. They're not where they are because of Carl Anthony Towns. I don't know how clear I can be about it. They're not where they are because of Carl Anthony Towns. Okay.
So you mean that 20 games that Carl Anthony Towns was out? It's now, we know Ant-Man held it down. There's no, but you got Conley. You also have Gobert. You have Reed. You have the three name guy. There was somebody else that was they were eight deep without Cat this season.
Thank you. You're speaking. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that part. I'm just saying.
Now you bring in the 6'10" guy who likes to shoot every time he gets the ball. He does make jumpers. I'll give you that. McDaniels. There you go. McDaniels coming in playing tremendous defense.
That's our guy. That's G-House love right there.
McDaniels or Naz Reid, a big body playing the other team's low post guy. It could have been either one of those guys. Thanks, good looking out, Boots.
No, the only thing is Naz Reid isn't
one of those guys though. It could have been either one of McDaniels or Naz Reid playing the opposing man's toughest defender along with Rudy Gobert. So now you have a lot of defense.
You got to score too. You have to score too. You have to score too. If you're going to be in the top three, if you're competing for the number one seed, you have to be able to score too. McDaniels played very good defense, but he wasn't always consistent on offense. So you can't rely on that though.
Naz Reid wasn't a top 15, top 20 scorer in the league either. But when you have that guy who can, like Cleveland likes to say, that dude who can really put the ball in the basket and who a lot of guys gives your team extra confidence. So if he scores 25 points and he goes off on has a 15-point quarter, now everybody's fired up. Now everybody's confident. Now everybody starts playing above their head. And so, yes, when Carl Anthony Towns comes in and gives you his 15 points, just a wild three-pointer, his wild forays to the hoop where he just throws in lay-ins and may draw a foul, and he comes up with 17 points in the game. Yes, that's kudos. You don't need that. That's not you're not counting on that. That's like icing on the cake when he starts doing that. You're not going to the game dude.
So okay, so I'll give you. Here's the credit I'll give you on your point, because you do make good points on this. The Wolves. I just looked this up. Without Cat this season, for the 20 games he was out, They were 14-6. So they were slightly better. They were slightly better
That's a
with
what?
him out of the
70%,
lineup.
72% winning percentage.
But they're still 67% winning percentage with him though. So it's not that much of a difference.
My point. He's not a factor. That's the point I was trying to make. He's not that factor
Until you get into a series where you have a favorable matchup against the defending champions and you're absolutely wiping the floor with your competition. That's when he's a factor.
Back when they're front running again, like Devin
What
Booker.
you mean front running?
Now with Devin Booker, now we can use Devin Booker when everything else is working right, and Devin Booker's 25 actually looks like 35 because he's just putting up shots. That's that Devin Booker factor.
Devin Booker. So Devin Booker.
I
So
mean,
let's
I just
you want to
correlate.
compare Devin Booker to Cat?
We don't have to have a Devin Booker conversation, but I was just correlating the two there. That I was saying that Karl-Anthony Towns is not a factor in what they're doing. He's an accoutrement. He's an accoutrement. He's an addition. You know, obviously he's a 6'10" NBA player, right? That he can shoot, but him pulling unlike what the Lakers, what you're calling for the Lakers to do. Unlike when they have Rudy Gobert, that allows him to. Rudy Gobert is now playing the opposing team's toughest center. He's grabbing the rebounds and playing the defense. And now Anthony Davis is out here giving you 40 and 10. Karl-Anthony Towns is not going to do that. He's going to give you 22 and some flukish lay-ins where he's driving to the hole and he's going to draw some fouls.
What is it with these adjectives that you have to throw in when you're talking about Cat? You don't have to throw those extra words in. Just say what you're going to say. You're trying to influence the audience with those extra words you saying.
Let me ask. We spend way too much time on Karl-Anthony Towns.
I don't think we spend enough on Karl-Anthony Towns. If you ask me,
he's not the factor. That's what I keep telling you. He's not the factor in that spot.
He is a main factor. If it wasn't for him in this series, it would not be up 2-0 in the series without Cat.
He's at least a number 3, a third factor. If McDaniels and Naz Reid aren't even a bigger factor on what they're doing, because they're playing better defense to get their low posts against Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic. So that makes them a bigger factor in what Minnesota's doing. And then you have that Karl-Anthony Towns shooting those wild threes. Driving
what is it with the adjectives? How come he just can't be shooting threes? I don't get that. How come he can't just be shooting threes?
Come on, man. You know his game. You know his game.
The dude is a 3-point champion in the All-Star game. He won. He actually won that competition. So these wild threes that you keep talking about him throwing up, they're going in for a reason.
Didn't Pat Beverly win like the skills champion as the point guard? Did he win a skills champion? So you're gonna tell me that he's now one of the top point guards in the league?
What's he talking about? Top point guards in the league?
You know, you brought up the 3-point shooting contest. I'm saying, didn't Patrick Beverly win the skills competition a season or two before that? And so come on, don't bring up the All-Star weekend.
I don't even know what you're talking about. All I know is that the dude can shoot threes, and you talking about wild threes, but he won a contest for it, and he also what is his shooting percentage right now for three? You act like he's shooting like 29% from the three. He's not. He's actually shooting very well from the three.
39%. Where's he shooting? 39 between 39 and 42?
I'm looking it up right now.
But the next guy, we can actually have a legitimate basketball conversation.
The dude's at 41% this year. What are you talking about?
42, right there. Okay, big deal. He's wide open because they're giving him that jumper.
No, he's 6'11", and they couldn't even block it if they wanted to.
Okay, all right. So they're not really closing out on Karl-Anthony.
No, they are. I mean, if you look at it, they're actually switching out on Karl-Anthony Towns, and he's absolutely killing Murray, which is the dumbest coaching scheme that you could have for a long period of time. They're taking advantage of matchups. What did you say during the Lakers Denver series? Didn't you say something similar to that? that they were taking advantage of the matchups that they were given in the second half and in the
No,
fourth
no, I
quarter?
probably
I
didn't break it
swear
down
you said
because
something like
the
that.
Nuggets were just better. The
Yeah, they
Nuggets,
were.
the
Yo,
Nuggets were
100%.
just better.
Yeah, they were. And right now, the Minnesota's telling you they're much better than Denver.
Yeah, they're tougher. They're certainly playing tougher. And again, I credit McDaniels and Nas Reed for their tough
You know
defense.
what I credit? I credit Denver getting rid of key players off of their bench and not really replacing them with people that.
Ooh, Brown is the only guy they got rid of.
No, they didn't. They got rid of Brown. They got rid of Uncle Jeff because they needed Jeff for the
You think that
backup
was
defense.
a bigger factor? You think Jeff?
And also they gave up the one dude too. The one dude that was he didn't play that much, but he was actually when he was in, he did his work, and I can't remember who the hell that was.
I like Brown. I like Brown. I don't know that Brown. I mean, I don't know that he's giving them. I don't know. You can go either way. He's probably better defender than Christian Braun, but
Braun's not ready. Braun's not ready. He's
that could be
missing
it.
assignments, and he's not being being
That
able to
could be
keep in
it.
front of the people that he's
That
guarding.
very well could be it. But I wanted to give the comeback player of the league award. Cleveland wouldn't allow me to do it.
I
wanted to give the comeback player of the year award to Kyrie Irving. I sent it. I had a chance, and I just say I don't even have to say anymore because I see your reaction in your voice, in your tone of voice.
What?
But Cleveland, I sent you a clip, Cleveland, where I asked the man a question. I said, it was actually a follow-up to a question I asked, like, obviously the Clippers, and we can get in the Clippers conversation if you want to, but with the Clippers, my exact question to him, Cleveland, correct me if I'm wrong, was the Clippers are coming to that series, with a man down. Usually somebody comes in with a man down, the team responds. We see the team respond like a wounded animal, and they come in with fight. So what are you guys doing to kind of keep your focus, to maintain your focus? And then he gave me a nice answer. And then the follow-up question I asked was, what do you credit you guys' focus the second half of the season? Because the Mavericks is the second half of the season. I know it's been a trade. I know it's been a Gafford and PJ Williams. I knew that, but I want to hear. But still, they're playing an impressive style of basketball. What I wanted him to say, kind of what brought them together. I want to hear his answer, Cleveland. Do you remember, Cleveland? His response was, I think the key phrase I took out of that was maturity. We're growing up. They're taking advantage of the opportunity that they have. Cleveland, what's your thoughts of that clip I sent you?
Yeah, I don't trust anything that Kyrie Irving says outside of the when Michael Drew is getting down on the basketball court, that's cool. Anything else other than that, he's a schizophrenic. He's bipolar. You cannot trust anything that he has to say.
I didn't ask you. See, you talking about extra adjectives.
You
talking about adjectives. What's going on?
Just roll the basketball out.
I asked you what he said. I asked you what you thought of what he said. I didn't ask you whether you buy into what he said.
Well, what do you mean what he said? I mean, he's saying all the right things. It just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't apply to him. His history of being a leader or being any of those things that you just aforementioned, 0%.
You know what's being left out of this too is that the fact that he had actually already admitted that he was trying to get in the Lakers uniform this year too. He was trying to get in the Lakers uniform this year, so I don't.
Yeah, and he would have loved nothing more.
He definitely would have left Dallas for the Lakers if they would have made the right trade.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not trusting what you're seeing out of Dallas either, huh?
No, I'm not saying I don't trust what I'm seeing out of Dallas. What I'm seeing out of Dallas is I'm seeing outside of Luka and Kyrie, I'm seeing young, active, tall, willing defenders and players that are being selfless and looking for their chances when they come. That's what I'm seeing right now out of Dallas.
PJ has been awesome. PJ is awesome.
Yeah.
J Kidd,
Lively's been good.
He's been good from day one. That was a great draft pick.
That
right
was a
there.
great
That was
draft.
pick.
Great draft pick.
Gafford though to come in and give
Gafford,
Lively
great pickup.
give Lively some actual experience and can tell him, okay, young guy, let's do this and that. And it's not even that Gafford is a veteran in the league. He's just been in the
you
league.
know what? That's good GMing. That's good GMing.
Yeah, certainly.
They already had two bigs. They got the other guy,
Kyle and Kleber.
the one guy that hit threes every once in a while.
They weren't in the paint. They weren't in the paint and biting up cats like
right,
Gafford.
exactly, and that's why picking up Gafford was a stroke of genius, right?
Yeah.
I wish every GM could do it. Evidently, they can't for some reason, but that was a great pickup for those guys. So now,
and then PJ Washington coming from Charlotte was great though. That was another.
He's a vet, right? He's definitely a vet. And he's situational, right? He's harder to guard than people think he is, and he works on the offensive boards. That's one thing you guys got to remember.
Home, so he was fired up. He's fired up to be there because he's coming back home.
Oh yeah, right. He's coming back home too, so it's working out from him. Now here's another thing you got to take into account with Kyrie and the other guys on Dallas right now. There's not as much as the spotlight is on them because they're in the playoffs. Like Washington has what pressure does Washington have coming home to Washington? All this stuff that he's doing right now is gravy. He's in the playoffs with two of the best guards in the entire NBA. Yeah. All he has to do is grab rebounds and score when he needs to score. That's it.
The same thing I was saying about Karl-Anthony Towns is
that's not the same.
It is.
It is not the same.
Dude,
it's not. Not even close.
Karl-Anthony Towns is no longer the focal point of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay, answer me this, because I gotta go. I'm way over time. I love talking to y'all. I know this happens every time I get on, but I'm gonna say this. Just think. Okay, what if it's Karl-Anthony Towns' girlfriend's having a baby in California and he can't get back? So instead of Gobert being out, it's Ant-Man, Gobert, McDaniels, Reed, and
the crew.
Yeah, do they win by 30?
Maybe not.
I'm not saying they win. I'm not saying they wouldn't win, but do they win by 30?
You gave us the stats when they went on a 72 or they won 72% of the games he missed.
It wasn't against. They weren't all against Denver.
Sure, right. Do they win by 30? I mean that's obviously, again, that's. I mean, situational. That's a situational situation.
That's the same question. That's the same line of questioning. I'm going right off of your question. It's real simple. It's not overly hard, and then I didn't put a whole lot of adjectives in it. I just asked you, do they win by 30 without Cat being in the lineup?
Again, that's the situation. Do they win a game? Yes. Do they win by 30? Yeah, that's a different situation.
Okay.
That's a different situation.
I'll take that as a no. Thank you.
Before you go, give us your thoughts on Ballmer and what Ballmer needs to do. You know he's going to the fortress down there in Inglewood, California. It sounds like by all accounts, it looks like he's going to run it back. Did Ballmer pay the wrong guy? And why not Paul George?
I will say, without revealing too much from the insider that we both know, as far as Ballmer's stint with the Clippers, most of the stuff that he does, he's doing for a reason, and it doesn't always look like it's going to work out. But I would say this: for some reason, Kawhi has this aura that most Clippers fans are still holding on to, even though most of us know that his knee he's maybe a year or two away from retiring. He's probably around. I think he's close to our guy, Brandon Roy. He's right around there. His knee, and I don't even know how he played this year. You can kind of see it on the court. Like
This year was the most. He played as many games than he had since he's been a Clipper this year.
I know, but his fast break points are next to non-existent.
What was interesting to see, and you being at the games, you see things a little differently. So I was at game 3 and 4 in Dallas, and in game 3, you can tell he wasn't right. You can tell.
Wait, hold on. Let me tell the audience. Low key flex on that. Go ahead, finish.
No. You see things differently, but he got a dunk. I don't want to know. I don't think it was a fast break, but it was a fairly easy dunk, a routine dunk for an NBA player.
Yep.
But he swung on the rim like 3 times, and you know how you swing one time. When Russell Westbrook dunks and he dunks hard, and he ends up on the other side of the key when he dunks, right? Just because he dunks and swings so hard.
Yeah.
Kawhi dunked and swung once, held on the rim, swung again, and the third time now your body's not really moving. He waited till his body came to a complete stop before he let go of the rim to come down.
Exactly.
That was like
That's
oh,
telltale sign.
yeah, that was like, oh, okay. But it was you don't see that on TV. I mean, I suspect they wouldn't have shown that.
No, I mean you kind of do, but most people don't pay attention to it. They're on to the next play, right?
But that was like, oh, like something's up here.
Something's up. 100% something's up. Yeah.
Hey, bro, but we appreciate you checking in, Clint. Let the people know where they can find you, man.
MJ Lover 23 on all platforms.
Yeah, MJ.
Hold it down, baby. Don't let this dude try to stop your voice, man.
I appreciate you interjecting with such astute commentary and understanding what the list is really all about, man. He makes it so complicated.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest
all right, I'm out, guys. I'll see y'all.
Oh man, you feel vindicated now?
Yeah, I really do, Kim. You act like I was just out here on a limb somewhere. Like, no, man. Picked it up, looked at it, like, oh yeah.
Oh, Dak and Mike.
Oh, and Derrick Henry, yeah.
And we go get to Micah. Hey, I don't know if you saw it, Boots, but what you think about Micah in the sumo wrestler competing? Like, that was kind of interesting.
I found it quite interesting. He couldn't move him. Like the leverage was like such that, like, okay, dude. Yeah.
It was not easy. Yes. He got him the second time, though. But yes, it was not easy. Micah thought it was gonna be easy.
Yeah.
And Micah, he had to dig in the second time, was like, okay, now. And yes, he came off the line and gave him his shoulder. And dude, yes, did not move. Like, I don't know why they don't put those guys up in the uniform, man. I mean,
they can't play 100 plays, man. It's limited.
Hey, we can get around the corner one time, can't we? If we get a couple of them, we can get around the corner on this guy. I mean, is pretty interesting, man. Yeah, he didn't budge. I would say he got him the second time, but that was interesting. Cleveland. So we've kind of talked about the NBA and what the NBA is. Just a couple more things. Did Riley's comments spell the end of Butler in Miami?
It certainly reestablished where things were. I mean, Riles might let that ride with a D Wade or a LeBron. He's not letting that ride with JB. Like, hey man, all your hypothetical nonsense, man. I didn't see you in the playoffs, so
right. He's like, why are you even talking right now, dude?
And you already see the people that Riley associates and hangs out with. They don't play all that, man.
Wemby is voted the unanimous rookie of the year. I mean, that's everybody knew that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kid was special. That kid was special. I hate that I missed. A couple of things I hate that I missed this last year, fans. I mean, I was kind of tied up, but at the same time, I hate that I missed the NBA Summer League. Cleveland, what do you call the NBA Summer League?
Glorified scrimmage.
I can't believe we have fans. We had an NBA insider on the show, and Cleveland said, "Why? What are you even doing here, dog? This is a glorified scrimmage." To the NBA Insider, like I was so stunned you said that, Cleveland. Man, I'm like,
But Camp, what did the NBA Insider say?
Amina Hassan, Amina Hassan, for those of you guys who know, following me, does a good show, has the op on YouTube. He actually agreed with you. I don't disagree, is what he said. Which I was equally as surprised at when he said
I
that.
said it was like the NFL owners meeting with some basketball in the middle, and he was like, "Yeah, that's basically what's going on here."
But it was actually a really good conversation. You got to pick that up. But I hated I missed the summer league to see Wemby. Like I didn't see Wemby play all season. Like I'm low key disappointed. I haven't got a chance to see Wemby up close. I mean, low key disappointed about that. But he was spectacular. I mean, there was no argument here, and it just kind of goes to show that, or it says, Chet had a great season, man. Chet is a part of the team that is close to winning the Western Conference, right? How good of a season in comparison did he have than Chet? That Chet is not even afterthought. It's not even afterthought. You don't even think Chet when you think Wemby, right? But they're in the same class. So kudos to Wemby. Rudy Gobert becomes the third player, Cleveland, to win Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times. Who are the others?
Ben Wallace. Is he one of them?
He's one of them.
Dennis Rodman?
No.
Defensive player. Kimbe. Kimbe got it 4 times?
4 times. Dikembe, okay. He was a bona fide shot blocker. Did Wallace deserve it 4 times?
I don't know.
It was like what, that 2002 through 2006, maybe.
Hard to believe Hakeem doesn't have 4. If those guys have 4,
yeah. Dikembe, okay, he won shot. I mean, back when Dikembe won it, if you win the shot block, if you have more shots blocked than anybody else, you're going to win that award. So I mean, it was pretty cut and dry back then, mid '90s, late '90s. Ben Wallace, it was a little tougher. You had to think about it. Okay, this guy's really locking cats up. Like Detroit's really solid. That's how they won it. I just feel Ben Wallace was. Thought Ben Wallace was a little. I hate to say overrated because he was a factor, but 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Come on,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Jokic wins MVP. I saw the score. Let me read these scores to you, man. I tweeted this out. I think the NBA, I mean, they need to reconsider the guys voting for this award. He won the award. Okay, it wasn't that he didn't deserve the award. He came off of a championship year, so he has a lot of eyes on him. Denver is still pretty solid. They're competing for the number one seed in the best conference in basketball. I personally had SGA and Anthony Edwards atop that list, but for as much as I've been talking about Jalen Brunson, Cleveland, for him to have 142 total points in the voting metrics, and Anthony Edwards have 18? I mean, come on now. Come on. As much as I've been praising, espousing the virtues of Jalen Brunson, there's something wrong with there. Brunson was
that's New York bias in full effect.
Brunson was not the 5th best player in the league. I mean, they have him. I'm fair with him. I'm okay with him being ahead of Jason Tatum, not Anthony Edwards. I mean, I don't know how Domantas Sabonis. I don't even know how Domantas Sabonis or Kevin Durant has even got any votes. I'm not sure how that worked. But yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the voting went Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic. Luka, we just talked about Dallas. He led the league in scoring with 33, right? And averaged 9 and 9. I mean, pretty damn good. I can't take anything away from Luka. That was pretty damn good. But the team got much better when they, after the trading deadline, when they made the trade for Gafford and they got PJ Washington. That team got that much better. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards, and I don't know why people don't want to give them credit for this. Their team was good from day one. They elevated their teams, and it was those two guys. You're exactly right. Yep. Because the beat was on course. You're exactly right. And B was on course to win it. And yes, the consistency of what Dallas or Denver was doing. You're exactly great point, Boots. I just thought Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserve more consideration for that award, in my opinion. Cleveland, let's make your predictions before we get out of here. Talking to NBA. You got the Nuggets winning it all the way. I don't need your predictions. You got Nuggets going all the way, right? Are you trying to change that? Do you want to change that, Cleveland?
Oh no, I'm going down with the ship. If the ship is going down, yeah, I'm going with my prediction.
I mean, so is it Thunder over Magic? Who do you got? The Thunder over the Mavericks? Who do you have winning that series? Who will the Nuggets play in the Western Conference Finals, according to you?
I still have the Dallas Mavericks in that one.
And the Celtics and the Cavaliers?
Celtics.
Knicks and Pacers? You think the Pacers can come back?
I'll let the Knicks go ahead and squeak that one out in Game 7.
I mean, the refs is gonna do everything. If it gets to a Game 7, man.
Oh yeah. They're like the ref in the Garcia Haney fight. Yeah, whatever they can do to help.
That's a funny one. All right, man. Let's jump into this NFL conversation, please.
Quick 90-second. Be right back.
90 seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, Boots. There was once, as you mentioned, once Embiid got hurt, they didn't know where to go. I thought, I'm not going to come off of it. I thought Anthony Edwards had much more impact in getting his Minnesota Timberwolves to a top seed in the Eastern or the Western Conference, and the impact. I can't say I would give, because he did have the Sixth Man of the Year award. He had the Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Edwards. I could easily say, okay, SGA deserved it. He didn't have that. So SGA is playing without those tools. He's playing without the Jamal Murray. Cleveland espouses a basketball god, an NBA champion, obviously. SGA is playing without MJP, who's turned the quarter pretty much this season. SGA is playing without Aaron Gordon, who's been a pretty damn good fit for Nikola Jokic and being able to play the opposing man's power forward pretty well. He's been so I say SGA was out these additions to his team, and maybe without him is too strong of a point, because the guys he's playing with just haven't, they're no names and they haven't proven it yet. So yet and still, I still think SGA was definitely deserved more consideration for the MVP award than even Anthony Edwards, who I had it pretty high on my list. I just the disparity with Jokic won the award was like, come on, guys. Come on. That's ridiculous. And Brunson, as much as I love Brunson, he wasn't top 5 NBA this season. Much as If you guys follow me, you follow the show at all, he wasn't putting on that type of performance. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. He has to pay his dues, and they have to know you. They have to know who they're voting for. So I expect in this next year's voting, SGA and Anthony Edwards to be competing for this award. You know, considering they have the same type of season they have next year.
With a healthy Joel Embiid.
Depends on what Joel's doing.
That's what I asked you. With a healthy Joel Embiid, like for example, if he was playing the way that he was playing before he got hurt,
and he's doing 35 a game, I mean, they'll be in the conversation. They'll certainly be in the conversation. Yes, regardless of what Joel is doing. But I mean, I hear you. I hear your point. I get your point. Cowboys eyeing Najee Harris. Since the Steelers, we talked about the Steelers declined to sign to extend him. The Cowboys eyeing him. Do you think that'll be a good fit for the Cowboys?
Yeah, 2 second rounders and a third rounder. Is that what they're willing to give up for him?
Oh, well, that's way too much. That's you're Tomlin on the phone. That's what you'll give him up for, Tomlin. Even though you don't want to re-sign him, you're gonna ask for the house. You're gonna ask for the house and the trailer truck.
Not giving him away.
No, well, he's gonna be an unrestricted free agent.
Not after this year. Yeah.
Yeah, after this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to wait till next year, that's fine. If you want him this year, yeah, two second rounders and a third rounder.
You know his production is not warranted. No, a second rounder.
Hey, hold it.
Let alone two second rounders.
Where's he from, Cam?
Oh, here we go.
Where you go to college?
Here we go. This is Cleveland. I love to make this point, man.
Where did you go again? I mean,
he was a Crimson Tide, Alabama.
Okay, well they had a chance to sign that other Crimson Tide running back. Decided they didn't want him. All of a sudden they want Najee. That's weird. Other one is so much more productive. Crazy.
I mean, you what you like to say is that Alabama's running backs are burnt out. The other guy is certainly. I mean, is there any left on those tires?
He's the exception to the rule, Cameron.
The exception. Every week you come up with some exceptions to the.
Well, rule. I mean, the other ones are. I mean, your Lacey's and.
Oh my goodness! Burnt out.
Running backs of that ilk. So.
You know all about Lacey, huh?
Know all about him.
You know all about Lacey. Came up there, got that seafood, and he just couldn't eat anymore.
Just couldn't. Yeah.
Couldn't get it done.
Nope.
Or it probably wasn't the seafood up there in the Northwest. It was something else they got.
Something else got him.
They gave him the munchies and then had him going to every restaurant in town.
Yeah. All that.
Yeah. Odell Beckham, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it.
I don't even know what to say, man.
Well, let me start out, Cam.
Overrated guy going to overrated
with the Miami Dolphins, and he is going to bring that veteran leadership, that Super Bowl caliber winning receiver.
Has he won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he won it with the Rams. Been through it all, seen it all. He's been at the top of the mountain. He's been at the bottom of the bushel.
And he's falling back to the bottom.
And everywhere in between. And he can bring all that experience, love, tenderness, and devotion and bring it to the Dolphins and help that wide receiving core and that quarterback get to the playoffs.
This Odell Beckham Jr. signing with the Miami Dolphins is about as good as James Harden signing with the Clippers. That's going to have a similar.
Well, impact. James Harden has never won a championship. Odell Beckham Jr. has won a Super Bowl.
Fair enough. I mean, he played a half in the Super Bowl, and he didn't show up for. Well, he was hurt the other
For a
half.
touchdown, right?
I mean, he played a half in the Super Bowl. He played a half. As you reminded me, I forgot he was even there, and was hurt the other part of the game. But he'll be as effective as James Harden was with the Clippers.
Well,
So
I mean,
there might be a 3 or 4 games a span where he's going to go off. He might catch it. He might catch 3 passes, 120 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns in there. But there'll be a month where he'll be like incredible. But the rest of the season, it'll be a dud.
Well, Cam,
And all this you're talking about, this veteran leadership, you know where he's going to lead these guys to? Right to the nightclub. He's going to lead them right to the nightclub after the games.
Very similar to like when he went to Miami for New Year's Day, but now he don't have to go nowhere. I mean, like when it's New Year's Day, he can just be there. You don't have to like leave and go there. He's already there.
Yes, right there. Yeah, effective Chris Paul with the Warriors.
See where I went with that? See where I went with that?
Yeah,
like when he was in New York, he had to go to Miami to get down for New Year's Eve, but now he's already there. You don't have to do all that. That's a bonus in and of itself.
For who? For the streets of Miami?
For Odell and the team.
No, it's not a house.
You talk about him leading them astray. No, man, he's already there. He's already part of
He's going to show them the different clubs. I mean, these guys can figure the clubs out.
They already know where the clubs are.
They don't need his help to figure out where the club scene is in Miami.
And he don't need their help. So yeah, that's not what he's bringing to the equation.
He's not doing anything.
He's going to help them. He's going to help them get to the playoffs.
I'm not sure. We're going to talk about that here very shortly. I'm not sure. As of this moment, I'm not sure. One final question. Not one final question. We've got a couple questions, but in regards to it, is Rashee Rice, is his career in jeopardy?
Yeah.
Now, this is, granted, he kept coming off a Super Bowl win. His first year with having money in his pocket as an NFL player. And this guy's losing it. This guy go rinse a Lamborghini, $1,700 a day, fans. $1,700 a day. That was more expensive than my rent was in Los Angeles. $1,700 a day. Wrecks a car. I mean, hopefully he checked that insurance box. When you rent the car, and
it's a tough question every time.
You check the car. What are my plans? What am I doing while I'm here? Am I, am I going anywhere?
I'm sure on the Lamborghini, it's more like instead of like $50 or $60, it's more like $500 or $600.
I hope he checked that box though. And then, if that wasn't enough, if that didn't tell him to go sit your ass down somewhere, he's involved with somebody was taking pictures of him at a nightclub, and he wants to assault the photographer or assault the photographer. Hey, dude, just call up Patrick Mahomes, man. Just go hang out with Patrick and catch some passes from him. Like, I don't know. Is that the quarterback's call? Is that Andy Reid's call? Is that the player's call? Does Patrick Mahomes say, yo? Or is he out there dancing around with Worthy?
Coming back to the team?
No. Is that the call to say, yo, come on, man. Come to Kansas City. Hang out with us this off season.
Oh, no.
Dallas.
That's no one else's responsibility. The off season is the off season, man. You see what a grind the NFL season is, man.
No, but you're my teammate. You're my team. If you're my teammate, don't you say, yo, Chief, man, just come up here and hang out with us, man.
Not an integral enough part of the team to have that type of intervention.
So why was Hollywood Brown when he gets traded to the Chiefs? Why is he with Patrick Mahomes taking pictures with him? What's the difference there?
That's his decision to make. I mean, that's what he's decided to do, and they've had a conversation like, "Hey, can I come hang out with you?" Yeah, sure, man.
So where is Xavier Worthy? Is Worthy in Dallas or Worthy in KC catching passes and running routes? Where do you think he is?
I have no idea where he's at.
Well, he should be in Dallas eating, or excuse me, he should be in KC eating some barbecue, put some meat on those bones, and running routes. That's what he should be doing. Yeah, this is just. I mean, Rasheed Rice, get it together, bro. Get it together, big dog. So Cleveland, let's run down. So the NFL, they've had their draft, right? They've had NFL free agency.
Right.
So let's talk about projected, and this is early. I'm not going to hold you to it. It's May. They only had their mini camps. So training camp is still yet to come. It's May. But as things stand right now today, Cleveland, let's look at your winners of each division going down.
It's still real quick, real simple.
AFC East.
The New York Jets.
Oh, stop it. See, I mean, I shouldn't even take you seriously. I don't even know if I can take this seriously. New York Jets, Cleveland, over Buffalo. I mean,
Buffalo has had a whole bunch of attrition on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball,
I'm so sorry. Who's catching the passes from Josh Allen again? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay.
I mean, but who's going to be playing quarterback for the New York
lost both of his receivers, right? Or did I miss that?
You're right.
Okay.
And honestly, I had Buffalo because I don't think. I mean, they still have the best quarterback in the division. The Buffalo Bills do. He's going to find some way to get the ball to his tight ends and move the sticks. They still have the young Cook in the backfield, so
he's also going to find some way to turn it over at a very critical time because he doesn't value the football.
Maybe so. But I do have the Jets ahead of the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins right now, number 3, just ahead of the Patriots.
Man, your love-hate relationship with 305 is, man.
I mean, it's no love-hate. I love them. I've been a Dolphin fan.
It's like a reality TV show, Cam. It's just so back and forth, up and down, man.
I mean, I have to be honest with the fans. They got the quarterback. I still don't trust the quarterback. They didn't get enough offensive linemen to protect the quarterback. Both of our pass rushers are coming off of major injuries. We only have one cornerback, and is that dude still that dude again? I mean, we don't know about that. Xavier Howard is gone, so we're looking for another cornerback to fill in. Our strong safety, we lost, went down with an injury. The team, they got a lot to prove. Honestly speaking, they got a lot to prove, man. And I'm just, being honest. The AFC West. I mean, I think with Patrick Mahomes there.
I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs in that one.
Oh, are you? Or really, you way to go out on a limb. Way to go out on a limb there. Yes. I think the Kansas City, they're still the class of the division.
Okay.
I got the Chiefs, the Chargers behind them, the Raiders and the Broncos are still coming up from the rear. We're gonna see. I like to talk coaching. Cleveland doesn't like to talk coaching so much. We'll see what type of difference the coach of the Raiders actually makes now that it is a full off season, rookie draft class to bring. What kind of difference does he make? For the Ravens. For the AFC North, I got the Ravens over the Bengals in that division. I think the Steelers and the Browns still bringing up the rear. Look at Boost. You missing one? Are you missing one in the NFC?
Nope.
No, you good. No, you got them all. What's your thoughts on the AFC North?
Yeah, I like the Baltimore Ravens until I see what the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiving core looks like. Don't like that Boyd loss and T. Higgins crying like a little girl about the franchise tag. So until they get that straightened out,
I understand you guys want to make some money, but you need a quarterback to get you the ball. And if you go to the Jets, if you go to the Titans, the Browns, like that, the Broncos, and they give you $25 million a year, like your production isn't going to be there. But if you stick around with
feel about yourself, Cam, as I've said numerous times.
So I don't understand what these guys don't be understanding about. You need a good quarterback to get you the ball,
especially when you're with the top 5. It's like, okay, well, what is the other alternative here?
Yeah. You're not better than Chase. So play your role, have a successful season, and win some games. You go into the Steelers, man, or the Broncos or the Raiders, who don't have a receiver to throw, quarterback to throw you the ball. I mean, it seems like, okay, you're paid, but you're gonna be frustrated. That you're gonna be wondering, oh, we didn't get our money's worth out of that guy. Well, because they don't have a quarterback throwing to you. Like it doesn't. I think it's contradictory or counterproductive in my opinion. AFC South. Looks like CJ, huh? CJ's the head of the class here. CJ,
you already know. You already know.
I didn't know. That was something I had to learn. I can be taught, fans. I was wrong about CJ.
Now they're giving him even more help. Ooh, goodness.
Yeah, CJ's in a good situation, and they believe in him. So good job, CJ. NFC East, who you got winning that one?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Boots, explain yourself. How do you got the Cowboys?
That was kind of a weird. I didn't want to get back. I didn't want to scold anybody, but their offseason has been horrific, man.
What do you think Dak's gonna do it all by himself?
Dak or CD or Micah just gonna be 26 sacks or I don't know.
Come on, Boots. Usually you're on top of stuff like this, Boots. I don't know what happened there. The AFC or NFC West.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, really? Who's their quarterback?
Mr. Irrelevant, I believe his name is.
Look at you, Mr. Irrelevant, huh? Mr. Irrelevant cost you some chow, didn't he?
He did. And they had to get him back on the big game though. Mm-hmm.
The Lions or NFC North, the Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. Don't tell me you're going to Chicago.
Detroit Lions.
Oh, I thought you were going. You're not buying into Caleb, huh?
Oh no, I do think that they're going to be a playoff team. You said win the division.
Yeah, we're looking at division winners here. Division winners.
I do think Chicago is in the playoffs.
Okay. And the NFC South, Falcons, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers. You think the Panthers are ready to make a comeback here?
No, Buccaneers over the Falcons.
Yeah. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you to this, man. Just a little conversation. But you don't think the addition of
Kirk Cousins?
You don't think so?
I don't think it moves the needle to division winner. No.
I mean, the division's always been up for grabs anyway. I mean, that division
has been mediocre. It's been won by a team that didn't have a winning record the last 2 years, right?
Right. So why don't you think Kirk Cousins is going to put them in position? They didn't have a quarterback to get their talent the ball. That was their problem.
I don't know, Cam. You know, I'm lukewarm on the Falcons, man. I didn't like the way they used Bijan last year. It was like he was supposed to be the cowbell.
He deserved to be fired. He deserved to be fired for that. You're absolutely right.
I mean, Pitts has been like, okay, why did you draft him so high? Drake London,
they didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have a quarterback to get him the ball. I think Drake London is I can't believe he's a wide receiver in the NFL. But I see him more of like a possession receiver. He's not going to run it by anybody. Kirk Cousins can get him the ball. Pitts was going to be able to get him the ball. If they had a speedster on the other side, like that, that receiving core would be so much better. But I don't think they have a speedster on the other side, but they got Bijan Robinson. So now if they give him the ball 15, 20 times a game,
But the last regime was all about running the ball. So that's what I'm saying. That's the
But
mystery.
they benched Cleveland. There was times that they benched Robinson. They went into the season saying they went into the week saying he's not going to get many carries this year or this week. Like, not if that's your if he did something, if he didn't make curfew, if he was piss a coach off, that's something you don't say in your press conference, right? You don't let that be known going on Thursday, we're not going to run the ball. Like, that's a decision you make game day, or you keep it to yourself. But he literally vocally said, we're not running our running back this game. And so the immediate questions were, why aren't you running the game? Oh, well, that's in-house. That's internal. He hasn't earned the carries this week. What are you talking about? He hasn't earned the carries. Who are you giving carries to? This is your top draft pick, arguably the best running back in the draft, and he hasn't earned his carries. Dude, he's out of there. Like, it was such a disappointment to have him. Boots, don't trust Hurts. Don't trust Barkley to stay healthy. Well, I think Barkley is going to allow you to trust Hurts a little bit more. Hurts is going to allow Barkley to stay healthy a little longer. Those
are all very valid points as far as where Bruce was coming from with the Cowboys pick, but I just think that given what the Cowboys were or didn't add to their team, and how the Eagles kind of underachieved the last
second half of the season,
6 games, I think maybe it's
apparently,
too early.
Apparently, there were some locker room issues. Apparently, there were some locker room issues with the offensive coordinators and who couldn't keep control of their side of the ball for whatever reason. And they apparently cleared that up. The cornerbacks. So you don't believe in the cornerbacks that they drafted. You don't believe in Dijon from Iowa in the second round. You don't believe in. I think they got the best cornerback in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't believe in any of those guys, do you, Boots?
And I understand the Kelsey loss. That's huge. That is huge.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's interesting. I think it's tough. He was a mainstay, yes. So they can look to him for leadership. Yes, I agree. I understand that. He has left big shoes to fill. However,
I think we'll know pretty early as to what Saquon's going to be able to bring to it. Because if he brings like a true running game as opposed to what they've kind of had in the last couple of seasons. I mean, I know you don't think they gave DeAndre Swift a fair shake, but
no, after one season, come on.
Sharkini, and it was kind of like a running back by committee. This is no committee, man. This is just Saquon.
Well, you're gonna see. Yeah, I think Saquon solidifies again if provided he stays healthy. I mean, if he goes out there and
very big if,
and he goes in there and blow out a knee or twist an ankle, but providing they stay healthy, I think Saquon is going to be the explosive back that they've been looking for. And yes, Kelsey is the anchor of that team, but I kind of think, and I kind of think if you start the season with guys, and again they stay healthy. If you start the season with a guy that's filling in for Kelsey, like you'll be okay as long as you're not juggling guys. I think on the offensive line, it's more continuity that's more important than who the guy is. Because if you start your whole five, your O-line starts every game of the season. By week 17, they're not the same team they were at week 1. They've come together. They learned how to work with each other, play off each other, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have that guy through training camp all the way through the season, like that's okay. But it's like obviously if you make the wrong decision with that guy, and then the guy gets hurt and you're juggling the offensive line and they don't know what the other guy's doing, that sort of thing, that impacts the offensive line. So if they have that guy, whoever it is, if he's with you most of the season, you'll be okay. And not trying to take any greatness away from Kelsey, but if you have that guy, I think it'll be okay in that situation. Hopefully he was on the team and was able to play behind Kelsey and see what some of the stuff be able to duplicate some of
And
what
this ain't college, man. Come on, man. They lost Kelsey. It's not that next man up thing, really.
Either it's going to be the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Yeah, I have no faith in the Skins or the Giants, Boots. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we cannot.
We'll be one or the other.
I mean, I have more faith in the Commanders than the Giants, because I'm pretty. I guess I might be hopeful that Jaden Daniels is actually going to do something when he gets get there.
Yeah,
and they got my guy Austin Eckler, so we'll see. Austin Eckler has another fantastic fantasy football season. We'll see.
Did they tell him it was cold out there in DC?
Yeah, in October it's not going to be the same weather in
it's not
Southern California.
This weather, no.
Yeah. All right, fans, let's blow through the show here. Thank you guys for hanging with us, man. We had some technical difficulties at the end of the show. Cleveland appeared to have stopped playing with his microphone. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Appreciate all you guys that stuck with the show. Value your feedback, value your opinion. Let's give a shout out to Clint Lomax, MJ Lover. Give a shout out to Boots for his feedback in the show. We had somebody tuning in from Saudi.
Yeah, from Saudi, and also Big Daniel.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Barry. Thanks for tuning in, Barry, as well. We had a man from Saudi tuning in. Saudi in the house. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. One of the things, fans, that we like to do, or I like to do, separate a show from other shows to kind of give you guys a history lesson. Some of the things that happened in America, and I call it This Week in History, where we just kind of recant some of the major events in history. Cleveland, you with me?
I'm with you.
May 10th, 1944, Smith versus Allwright was decided. This was a case that excluded blacks from voting in the from primarily voting in the election. It made blacks illegal. So this was overturned in 1944, May 10th. May 8th, 1787, Cleveland, a few moons before your time. The first black Masonic temple was founded in Prince Hall, Boston. Cleveland, this is something I didn't know, man, until I did my homework on this yesterday. May 12th, 1871, Cleveland. Segregated streetcars in Louisville, Kentucky were integrated following sit-ins staged by black teenagers. Brothers Robert Fox, Samuel Fox, and their friend Horace Pierce sat in, refused to get off the streetcars after being beaten. There was a riot that went down, and after they refused to get off the streetcars, the other drivers of the other streetcars kind of jumped them after somebody complained that they were sitting in the white section. Well, they got beaten, but they came back the next day. They came back the next day with rocks to defend themselves, and went and sat down in the seat again. And after they defended themselves, they were left alone and integrated. The streetcars in Louisville, Kentucky were integrated. This was 1871, so several years before the Rosa Parks situation, who we all know was the second situation to have happened with integration on in America. No, thank you, man. Thanks again for tuning in.
Appreciate it, man.
So that was interesting. Cleveland, May 8th, 2018, left-hander James Paxton throws a no-hitter 5-0 over the Blue Jays in Toronto for the Seattle Mariners. Cleveland, Paxton was one of 6 Seattle Mariners. That was the 6th time a Seattle Mariner pitcher has thrown a no-hitter. Can you name the other 5 times the Seattle Mariners have thrown a no-hitter?
Give me a chance here, Cam.
I'm giving you the chance. You got a chance.
Chris Bosio's thrown a no-hitter.
Chris Bosio, ding, ding, ding.
Randy Johnson. has
Ding,
thrown.
ding, ding. Yes.
Felix Hernandez has thrown a perfect game.
Is a perfect game a no hitter?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
It's,
Okay, I'm messing with you, but okay, yes, he's on the list. So you got 3 more to go. Well, 2 more to go because we already know Paxton is one of them.
2 to go.
Oh, we got him. We got him, Stump fans. We got him, Stump fans.
Did Mark Langston throw a no hitter?
Mark Langston. Interesting you brought up Mark Langston. The answer is no, but interesting you brought up Mark Langston because that was one of the final Mariners that I actually rooted for. And it was when Mark Langston got traded to the California Angels. That was like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of rooting for this guy who's clearly one of the best pitchers in the American League? And they just give him away for, I think they gave him for a pack of chewing gum.
Okay. Eric Bedard threw a no hitter.
No. So, okay. So
Actually, he was throwing a no hitter when they pulled him.
Well, I mean, again, it makes
one of them was a no hitter by committee, right?
Oh, he got that one. Okay, he got that one.
Oh, so I'm only missing one, right?
You miss. Well, I mean, the no hitter by committee.
I can't name all the.
Name
pitchers.
2 of them. Name 2 of them. 2 of them. You should be able to name 2 of them.
I want to say Hasegawa was one of the pitchers in the collective one. No. I don't remember who the other guy was.
Millwood.
Oh yes. Brian Millwood started that one. Okay, so I got one left.
So yeah, that was a collective. 6 pitchers chipped in to get the no hitter. The one no hitter.
And the other no hitter. It's not Paxton. It is. I'm gonna go with Hansen.
Look at Boots. Boots is a baseball historian over here. So Boots gave you a hint. Hansen is not it. Boots gave you a hint.
Then it is
Iwakuma.
Yeah, Iwakuma.
Iwakuma. Yeah, there you go. Look at Boots. May 8th, 1967, Muhammad Ali indicted for refusing induction into the U.S. Army. May 8th, 1968, Catfish Hunter pitched a perfect game and drove in 3 runs. 1960. He's trying to do some Shohei type stuff back in the day, huh? Catfish Hunter.
Shohei never thrown a no hitter.
Well, not yet. I mean, he's only been pitching like 3 seasons. Cleveland, give him a break.
Well,
give him a break. We'll get to. I can't do a show without Shohei, man. So we'll get to Shohei. Okay, you lay off Shohei. Okay. In fact, on another note, speaking of Shohei, his interpreter decided to take the punishment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, you guys lay off Shohei, and we'll talk about what Shohei is doing since that.
Yeah, Japanese version of Weebay from The Wire. That's cool. Go ahead.
We'll talk about Shohei's production since all the pressure is off of him, and all you guys trying to come up with different stories. We'll talk about Shohei. Cubs manager Waddy Lockman was ejected during a game. This manager stepped in and became the first African American manager in the major league. Who can you name him? May 8th, 1973. This guy.
Don Baylor.
I told you get off my guy's back.
Yeah.
Ernie Banks fills in for
Ernie Banks filled in. Okay. Say
Yeah,
that.
he becomes the first African American manager.
Mr. Cub, I like that.
May 8th, 1984, the Soviet Union announces it will not participate in Los Angeles Summer League in retaliation for the Americans' boycott of 1980 in Moscow. That was kind of just petty, right? That was just pettiness why they didn't want to play.
The Olympic boycott on both ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Tit for tat.
May 7th, 1989, MJ hits his game winner over Craig Elo. Was that his most? Where did that rank in his most memorable moments?
10.
10? Okay. Let's continue the show. Thank you guys for your participation. Cleveland, did you see the Brady roast?
Man, I didn't. I've heard a lot about it. I heard that it got a little bit more personal than Brady would have liked, but
right.
What do you expect on a roast?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't know it was on. I just heard a lot of people talk about it. I probably wouldn't have turned it on. Well, it was on during NBA basketball. So it didn't get a look. The funniest line though I heard was from the lady comedian that says, Brady lost. How did you lose 30 million in crypto? He said, even Gronk. Gronk said, "Me know that's not real money." that was a good line. That was a good line. Yeah, he took some shots, or some shots was taken at Giselle with the Brazilian. What was the Brazilian? What was it? Shit, the workout
karate guy or something.
Yeah,
karate instructor.
Karate instructor. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I did not see it, but apparently Netflix paid a bunch of these cats to come on out there and get them. So good deal by Netflix. Okay, Cleveland. I'm interested to hear what you thought on this one. Austin Rivers. Did you hear what he had to say? Austin Rivers. He can take 30 players from the NBA to play in the NFL, but can't get 30 players from the NFL to play in the NBA. Agree with them or disagree with them?
Agree with him.
You agree that you can get 30 players from the NFL or from the NBA to play in the NFL?
Yeah.
Spoken like a guy who never put on shoulder pads and a helmet. That's all I can say.
They would all be playing relatively the same positions. They'd all be playing tight end or receiver. I mean, let's not get this all twisted around. Like,
sure, but you have to be physical. You have to be able to take a hit. Like some of these players, they had them playing strong safety and running back. Like Russell Westbrook, like is when we see him going through the lane ferociously, he knows he's not getting nobody putting an elbow, forearm, or a helmet into his side. So he's not going to be as ferocious running through the hole as he is going down the lane. Like, again, I think that's spoken like somebody who's never put on shoulder pads and a helmet. Like you are right. There's a lot of similarities to the skill set, the quick twitch, the feet work, having the hand-eye ball skills. There's a lot of similarities to a jumper than somebody running around.
A little bit high, but way easier to get closer to 30 in NBA players that can play football as opposed to football players that can play in the NBA.
It might be easier going the other way, Cleveland, but come on, there's been basketball players who quit playing high school football so they can focus on basketball. It was just too tough. So to tell me getting an NBA player to just go walk on the field and play, come on, cut it out. But I did like my man. And did you see the clip where Anthony Edwards said, he said foosball, he said foosball, golf, whatever it takes, he's gonna be the best at it. Did you see that clip?
No, I saw the one where they were talking about if he was looking up to Jamal Murray, and he was just like, hell no.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
That one's hilarious, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like,
I didn't see that one.
Into it or whatever, but yeah, I don't look up to those. That cat's barely older than me. So yeah, that was hilarious.
Wow. No, I think Austin and Rivers is obviously talking out the side of his neck about.
I mean, you're talking tight end, wide receiver, maybe some defensive end, but that's about it, man.
I don't even think somebody can play. Who are you gonna play? Zion at defensive end? Like, you have to be hungry for that position. You have to be hungry. You have to have a hunger to chase down a quarterback. Like those Zion at 6'7", 275. Like, he has a build for it. He's quick coming off the line, sure. His leaping ability is not going to help him get to the quarterback. But the guy he's going to be going against your guy from the Ravens, Jonathan Ogden.
I mean, maybe
how often is he going to be? How often is he going to be able to get?
It's probably not the position for him.
What's that?
I said quarterback probably wouldn't be the position.
No, I'm saying chasing the quarterback coming out. You said defensive end. Zion is built like a defensive end.
Yeah, it would be more of a Julius Peppers type of cat.
Okay, but again, you have to have that hunger. Like Julius Peppers played down low. He threw elbows. He has a feel for that spot, right? Yeah. He has a feel. You could see some of the toughness on the field.
You make a good point. Basketball players are a lot softer than they were, like maybe 15, 20 years ago. So maybe it's a little bit more difficult to do. But I'm just saying, like, from an athletic standpoint, I think what he was trying to say is that football players can't hoop. Basically, that's the point he was trying to make, and that's 100% true.
Again, those same players he's going to get to play cornerback and receiver and safety. I mean, the quarterbacks often hooped. Quarterbacks were often hoopers as well. But those same guys he's going to get to play.
Charlie Ward, again, that was a long time ago, man. I mean, Nate was, Pac-10, freshman of the year.
I mean, come on, Nate, a different breed.
Right?
Nate was a different breed. But yeah, at cornerback, like, some people didn't think he could play cornerback, right? But didn't think he could play point guard in the league. He was able to play point guard in the league, right?
Phenomenal.
And then your boy gave him a chance. Pete actually gave him a chance to suit up, right? Like, let's see how real you can be. I just think it was Austin Rivers. Like, if I see him again, I'm gonna be Austin. Come on, man, dog. He was on the Pat McAfee show. Do you watch Pat McAfee at all? Just trying to get some hype. I don't tune into Pat McAfee at all. But I did see the clip. Candace Parker announces her retirement this week. I think it was last week. Did I ask you this question about Caitlin Clark? I did ask you this question. Can Caitlin Clark be the defensive player of the year, MVP, all WNBA, and rookie of the year all in one?
And the answer was no.
Candace Parker is named president of Adidas Women's Basketball. Named president. That was announced today. So kudos to Candace. Kudos to Candace for that. So we talked about the Canelo Alvarez fight over Munguia over the weekend that you tuned into, and then you actually gave us a scorecard that resembled one of the scorecards at the fight. Of the judges at the fight. So kudos to you. Nice to know you're tuning into boxing again, Cleveland. And Sportsanisa chimed in, and what do you know? She hit us with some inside scoop that the Saudis is trying to work out a Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. Does that get you to pay? I mean, if I can go to Saudi, that would be one thing, but I mean that's a pay-per-view card that you might want to tune into or might want to actually purchase. Would that get you to purchase a pay-per-view? Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I'll do the contribution thing. Everybody pony up.
Pitch in $25. You'll do that.
Watch that Bud Crawford beat up Canelo.
Cleveland, we kind of went over this on Sunday. There hasn't been any more. There haven't been any more diss tracks. The Kendrick and I mean, Kendrick just kind of, after Not Like Us, he just kind of cleared the table with that one. We haven't heard anything else from Drake. But apparently some cats went and shot up Drake's house. Man, did you hear about that?
I did hear his security guard got shot. Yeah.
I told you keep these guys away from each other, man.
But I mean, slow down, man.
What?
I don't really like that, man. Because I mean, like, that's an awfully long way to go, man. I mean, this was in Toronto, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I mean, you got to pass customs. You got to do all kinds of stuff. So it's not like Kendrick sent his boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I severely.
It's like, I don't know all of the circumstances around the shooting, but I would be highly surprised if Kendrick had that type of influence to be calling shots in another country.
I mean, well, you've been to Toronto. It is another country, but
right across the bridge. I mean, for real. I mean, like getting in Canada is not a thing. I mean, or I should say, it's a very big thing. It's not like you just go to Walmart and get a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends on where you're at. I can go get a gun down here. I pass.
You certainly can do that. You certainly can do that in Alabama, which is something you can't do in Toronto. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go down to your corner store, your liquor store, and get a gun in Alabama. I'm talking about Toronto.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, it ain't nothing to just get on the car and drive across a bridge.
Again, across a border.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it happened. I don't know, but I'm just like, I would.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that Kendrick sent his boys out to do that. Cleveland, this odd thing happened, man. Where Contreras to the catcher, maybe you heard about that. I forget what the team was. They asked him to move up in the batter's box to try to better position the what's it called, where you catch the ball and then you move it to first. You move it into the batter's box, or you move it into the pitching range. What's that called? I think it's just called selling the pitch, if you will.
Framing the pitch.
Framing the pitch. Well, the catcher, the batter hit the catcher, broke his arm. Did you see about that?
I didn't hear that. No.
So the catcher, they told the catcher to move up in the batter's box so he can better frame the pitch, and he moved up in the batter's box, but then the batter hit the catcher, and as he's catching, he got hit in the arm and kind of broke his forearm. With the swing, velocity they're swinging that bat at, right? Yeah. And so you're there in the way, and you get that shattering your shit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That I haven't heard about that before, but that was kind of strange, man. What's your thoughts on that situation?
I think it's a very dangerous outcome. Like potentially, how much closer you were supposed to get. I mean, it's a game of inches to begin with, so
right.
I don't know whose idea that was, or
it was the team. The team admitted that they coached him to move up, but now, I mean, I'd be hesitant to listen to that coach again.
Yeah, I mean, did they do their research with regards to it? I mean, sure, it makes it easier to frame the pitch, but you're also putting yourself in harm's way, which clearly happened. So
yeah, and probably the batter moved, kind of backed up a little bit, and kind of a confluence of circumstance. The catcher moves up, the batter moves back, and boom, there you go. Cleveland, what would you say? What would you think of this player, Cleveland? Let me just read off some numbers to you. The player leads the majors in doubles. The player is number 2 in on base percentage. The player leads the majors in slugging percentage. This particular player leads the majors in steals, he's number 10 in steals. This particular player leads the majors in home runs, Cleveland. This particular player leads is number 2 in runs in all of Major League Baseball. This particular player has the most hits in baseball. This player also has the best batting percentage at 365 in baseball. What do you think of that player?
Potentially could be an all-star if he can keep those kind of numbers up.
Oh, sir. What about a potential National League MVP?
Yeah, those numbers aren't sustainable. All those numbers that you just threw out there.
They're not sustainable?
No.
This is I'm speaking about the 3-time American League MVP going for his first National League MVP.
Hey, 2-time?
Huh?
You said 2-time?
I said 3-time. I said 3 times. That's what I said.
Shohei Ohtani is won 3 MVPs.
Has he not? Am I wrong? You want to look it up real quick? You want to do some homework?
Do I have to look it up?
Yeah, look it up if you like, and let the fans know. And I'm glad you identified that it was Shohei who's leading the league in all these categories.
That's the only baseball player that you know. So I knew that you had to be talking about. You don't know any other baseball player's name.
I know Julio, not Francisco Rodriguez. I know him. That just is, and I'm cool with Aaron Judge. What are you talking about? I know Vlad Rad. I talked to Vlad Rad. What are you talking about? Oh, Trout running it. I mean, Trout's not playing. Trout is out of the running. But I do think Trout. I mean, those California Angels and Anaheim. I mean, they have a propensity.
I see 2.
Oh, shame on me. Oh, he won 2. He's working on his 3rd major league. Major league most valuable player. Working on his 3rd.
See how you just embellish? We got 3, 4 MVP. No, he's got 2.
He's working on. I mean, how many players Cleveland has won a major league MVP in the American League? Huh?
I'm sorry, in both leagues.
Yeah.
Frank Robinson has done that.
So there's only one player. I mean, well, you better watch this. You better watch this kid this season, and so you don't miss out on something happening that doesn't happen very often.
Well, I mean,
you better stop hating on this guy.
I believe Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to have something to say about that. So,
and wait till my mind get on the mount. Wait till he get on the mount. Wait till
okay, well, you might be waiting for a while on that one.
What was that? Oh, you don't think he's going to pitch again?
Not really.
Fans, we don't do this very often on this show. And in fact, I think this is a second time this season that we've done this. But it's time for the Mariners Minute. The Seattle Mariners fans are 20-16. At least they were when I looked at the numbers earlier. It's 55% winning percentage. 6.5, 6-4 the last 10 games. Again, they're really holding off the Metro League, Cleveland. What's going on with the Mariners?
Tremendous pitching staff, the best pitching staff in baseball. Unfortunately, they still can't hit worth a lick, and hopefully they get it together with regards to that. Perhaps trade some of that young pitching for a big bat in the middle of the lineup. And right now, I believe they're a half game out of first place in the American League West. And the pitching, if it holds up and they don't get hurt, good things could happen.
Why you say it so? Why are you being almost whispering this? I mean,
because they don't have any offense. Their pitching is absolutely lights out dominant. I mean, like as good as like in the last 100 years was the stat.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So you guys are looking to do something like this is going to be the 2001 Mariners?
No, because ownership. Because as we've already discussed, ownership is cheap. They don't have any money. They have some, they just don't want to spend it. And they always have these alternative methods for trying to win games other than just going and get a big bat. So I believe that the great pitching staff that they have is going to go to waste. They may make the playoffs, they may not. Right now, I would give it a 50-50 chance.
You fired up about this, Boots.
I do like that World Series matchup, though. That looks incredible.
So, if they were to ask you, Cleveland, there was management were to call and say, who should we get? I mean, Soto's already Soto.
Trade for Pete Alonso
from the Mets.
Yeah.
Who's playing first base right now?
For the Mariners?
Yeah.
Ty France.
He was just in the All-Star game 2 seasons ago.
It was.
You're done with him already?
If we can get Pete Alonso in the middle of the lineup, yeah. I mean, if we don't have to trade him, he can move to DH, but probably they want a first baseman because we'd be getting their first baseman. So,
and why would the Mets do that?
Because we're also throwing in one of the young guns, one of the pitchers. Probably Emerson Hancock would have to go.
So you think Pete Alonso is a difference maker? Let me tell you a real quick story about Pete Alonso. So I'm at I went to the Dodgers game, and as you you made a fair point that I don't know the baseball players. So I'm at the Dodgers game, and I was there like covering baseball is so weird. I was there. The game doesn't start till 7:30. I'm there like 4 hours before game time. But in that 4 hours, like you get to talk to the coach, and it's weird. Like you could just go sit down until Buck Showalter was the manager of the
Mets
at the time. Is he still the manager? Like he's sitting on the bench in the dugout. Like you could just go walk in the dugout and sit down and talk to Buck. Like pregame, like that's how it is in baseball. I didn't know. I saw him there. I just didn't know what the hell I'm gonna ask Buck about the Mets. I had no idea what to ask him about the Mets, so I just bypassed it. But Alonso, I'm kind of hanging out by the dugout. Alonso comes out the dugout, daps us up. Me and I was there with a couple other media members. I didn't know who he was. Daps us up. Then went out and went out for batting practice. So he takes some batting practice, and then he's hitting some balls. I'm like, damn, like Duke can hit. Like I'm like, but he like big out of shape dude. I'm like, damn, like okay, now he goes to first base, and then his grounding wasn't very good. But then the first pitch, happens. The Dodgers were they up first? When the first time the Dodgers was up, like they hit a foul ball. And Pete just kind of staggered over there to the, they have the nets up, right? So this is after the first year of the nets. Are they still putting nets up all around the field? Are they still doing that? This was that first year that they did that. So he kind of clumsily falls over, staggers over there to the nets, and he jumped up to catch the ball, but he was so uncoordinated, man. It was kind of weird. He jumped up to catch the ball. He didn't catch the ball, but his mitt got caught up in the net. He comes down and falls down. It was kind of just it was a comedy of errors that happened on that play. I was like, yeah, that's the dude right there, big fat boy. What are you doing out here? The next inning, he gets up to bat. First pitch,
430 feet
out of the ballpark. I was like, oh, that's what he's out here for. That game, he hit 3 home runs. He hit 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 like first pitch homers. I was like, damn, okay. I'm about to now. I know who Pete Alonso is. If nobody else, I know who Pete Alonso is on the New York Mets. And then I think he was 3 for 4, 3 home runs that night. The Mets won. But it was just kind of funny. Like Pete looked completely like a complete doofus, warming up. Well, excuse me, everything else but hitting. Everywhere else outside the plate, but at the plate, like he was jacking them out the park during BPs, and then when he got up to bat, it was kind of funny. I had no idea who he was. So when he daps us up, like, and then he goes out there and he's falling all over himself, fielding the ball. I'm like, who is this dude? Like, but then he went out there and raked him. So you want Pete Alonso, huh? Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a difference maker. He would be a difference maker if you can get him. Yes. All right, fans, I want to leave you guys with the call. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Thank you for suffering through our technical difficulties. I do not know what happened. I do not know what happened. I'm talking to you guys. You guys couldn't hear me. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the podcast. Thanks, Boots. Thanks, MJ. Thanks, Saudi, for tuning in to the show. Each and every week we give you our numbers game at the beginning of the show. We give you a little history. We give you a little history lesson at the beginning of the show, just to kind of look at some of the things that have happened in our past to remind you of. And then also, I like to leave the show with a quote, so kind of a motivational quote to end the show with, to inspire you guys to continue throughout the rest of the week. And fans, here's the quote I want to leave you guys with tonight from W.P. Kinsella. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get, fans. So some of that is kind of you have to get out there and get what you want, but you have to make your way as well. That's kind of how I read that. You have to make your way and be happy with what you get. Be happy with the results that you put in. And that's from the hard work that you do, whatever you're doing, fans. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here every week. Voice of the Fan podcast. Let's give Cleavon a round of applause for joining the show. And Big Dog, we won't have no Sunday show this weekend. Traveling this weekend, so no Sunday show, no Sunday special for you guys. So check for us next week. As always, fans, want to say thank you for making our voice your choice.